wish you a happy new year. We wish you a happy new year. We wish you a happy new year. And many more.
Bottom.
Welcome to the Game Informer Show podcast.
And welcome to 2020.
2020.
Happy New Year.
We're in it.
It's a beautiful thing.
It happened.
I'm Leo Vader.
We're
Leo
here
Vader
now.
takeover of the Game Informer Show is almost over.
You know, Leo, tons of people have been asking me where you're at, so I'm glad you get some FaceTime on the table.
You found me. I'm here. Matt Miller's with me.
Hello.
Dan Tack.
Hello, everyone.
Ben Reeves.
Hello.
The effervescent Alex Stadnik in the booth.
Wow, I've been described as many things. Effervescent has never been one of them.
Why does he get effervescent? Nobody else got an adjective.
at
Have you
him.
looked at him?
The man's
Yeah, he's
effervescent.
pretty effervescent.
Yeah. I mean,
thank
you guys out there can't see him, but if there's one word that comes to mind.
I
Yeah.
made sure they saw me on that one.
Okay.
Yeah, we had to lower the exposure on his camera drastically. The plan today is to go through the 2020 video game release schedule we have on GameInformer.com. We're going to talk about everything that's coming out, give you those dates, because there's so much stuff in this year that I forgot was coming as soon as it's coming, so I think it'll be valuable.
If you thought last year was weak, well, hold on to your pants because
They're falling down.
they're going to be full soon. And fall down.
You're gonna have some full pants in a minute.
New year.
Full of games.
Rocking it
'cause
out, baby.
There's some exciting stuff on the horizon here.
You really have a way with words, Ben.
Yep. It's
should be a writer.
effervescent is my tongue.
New year, new pants. You're ruining them. We're going to start with January, the first month of the year.
I think that's
good
wise.
month,
Yeah.
a high quality month.
Month we are currently in.
I love it.
That's totally true that this is actually being recorded right now in January.
Very true.
Hey, man. There's a magic to this.
Yeah, please don't peek behind the veil. The first game that's coming out all year is not till January 16th.
Okay.
And it's Yakuza Like a Dragon.
What?
Is that the turn-based RPG?
Yeah.
Hell yeah, let's do it.
I'm
Yeah.
excited for that. I've played exactly one Yakuza game in my life, and that's 0. So I figure I'll just might as well jump ahead. But like, I'm
a
more
new
interested
protagonist.
in this game than I have been in any of the other Yakuza
I have
games.
played 0 Yakuza games. However, just that one clip that's been circulating online of the summon spell being a cell phone,
Yep.
and yep, I'm in.
That makes you happy.
That makes me extremely happy. I love, I love old school turn-based RPGs, and this one just being extremely flashy and gaudy and just jumping into all that is what I assume to be Yakuza, since I've never played one.
Yeah.
With their brand of, as Cork often tells me, they're hilarious and fun, and this looks really fun at the same time, embracing concepts that I really enjoy.
Yakuza has always been amazing at these hilarious over-the-top animations, and now instead of like earning heat bar and then deploying them based on objects, it's like, no, you're just pressing this button to do a funny animation.
Yeah.
It's just running through funny animations, which is interesting. But it's crazy that they're changing that franchise so drastically. And
think
now
they're-
Judgment is kind of their straighter beat 'em up.
Yeah, and I think that they're just embracing the idea that that franchise has seen growth and that there's a lot of enthusiasm in the Western market for it, and so let's capitalize on that.
And give it a fresh start, because Yakuza 0 was huge for them here because people felt like it was time
Yeah.
to jump in. Yeah.
People like me.
Who
me.
knew that bringing cool games over here would result in sales? I have no idea. Boggles the mind.
Yeah.
Couldn't have
Crazy
predicted.
stuff.
Guys, I think we're onto something.
Yeah.
What else we got?
Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, the very next day, January 17th.
Oh, I'm out. I'm going to be busy.
Yeah, my height meter is very
You're busy
Yeah.
you gotta wash your hair.
Yeah, I clip in my nails.
a little cool on that one.
Yeah.
I am excited.
A windy breeze. Thank
Okay,
you.
Alex is
Cautiously
excited.
optimistic.
Why are you excited?
I grew up with the show Toonami after school, and then I love the Budokai games, and I want an excuse to dive back in. I'm not a huge fighter fan, so fighters didn't appeal to me as much. So if they can nail the RPG stuff, I think that'd be awesome. We'll see, but I'm cautiously optimistic.
Well, everything here is we'll see. But I'm glad we have a defender, since
Yes.
everyone else seems pretty chill on it.
That'll be very helpful to have you around come January 17th when we make that video.
I just volunteered myself for
You did.
a
You
lot
for
of-
all
you
sorts of
have-
nonsense.
You have
don't
no
even
idea
know
what you just got yourself into.
Tokyo Mirage Sessions coming to Switch on January 17th. Did anybody play that?
No.
Yeah, wrong crowd, but
Can we insert a cricket sound effect?
yeah.
We might have a few cricket
We're
sound
gonna have
effects
a few.
on this list. Yeah.
Mega Man Zero ZX Legacy Collection is coming January 21st to PS4, Xbox One, Switch, and PC.
Little nostalgia
What in the
action
world
there.
is that?
Nostalgia.
That's cool.
That sounds cool. You're a Mega Man guy, right, Reeves?
Yeah, mostly original Mega Man / Mega Man X is my jam. But so I've never played a lot of those games, so it might be worth diving in.
Who knows? Maybe it will be.
Maybe it will be.
We'll see.
We'll find out. Yeah.
Some sucker will have to review it.
Right.
And he's at this table and he's sitting to my left.
Yeah, would hate to be that guy.
Oh boy.
Moons of Madness on January 21st. Anyone heard of this one?
I have no idea what that is.
I don't know what that is
Oh.
either.
I don't know what that is. I'm Googling it right now. It's a first-person story-driven cosmic horror game
Ooh,
about the
cosmic.
scientific exploration of Mars.
Okay.
Cosmic horror I like.
Okay.
Like I said,
Lovecraftian.
I think we're gonna have a few of these in this list.
Cthulhu on Mars.
Any
I can dig
four
it.
people sitting at a table
course.
and a man in the booth are maybe not gonna know everything about every video game that's gonna come out,
Yeah.
but
We're just gonna do our best.
Yeah, and I do want to temper things a little bit too. Like, whatever we say here is certainly not indicative of our, of how things actually play out when we get our hands on the game.
we're
Moons of
playing pretty
Madness.
fast and loose with this at the
Yeah.
moment. Yeah,
Moons of Madness will get an 825 from Game Informer.
and Leo's
Leo,
calling it
Leo,
now.
that is the craziest prediction I've ever heard.
You must
Seriously.
be mad. Miss.
Bank it. Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles Remastered is coming to PS4 and Switch. January
I have
23rd.
a blood vendetta against that game,
Oh,
and
do
it
you?
can die in a fire.
Oh my
Expand on that.
Okay, back in college is when it came out for the GameCube, and I was like, I love Final Fantasy. This is still back before
Yeah.
I became an anti. This is still in the early days, right, of Final Fantasy. So I'm like, oh god, this is the best thing ever. I can play 4-player Final Fantasy with all my friends.
Yeah.
And so I went out and I had to buy a ridiculous amount of peripherals for that.
Yes,
like I
you
needed
did.
like 4 different GBA. I
Yep.
needed a ridiculous
all those
amount of
weird
things.
like
Yes.
connector things. I did the exact same thing, and I share your.
I
It
bought
was
all
just
that stuff.
totally disappointing.
I set it up like we already ordered pizza, got everybody assembled. We played it for like 2 hours, and just like the glassy-eyed stare, like this is.
Yeah.
Well, you said
Yeah.
you played with all your friends. Then
Yeah.
what'd you do with the other 2 controllers?
You
what's-
got me
what's your-
good.
what's
Got
your
the jokes in
mom any
2020,
good?
baby.
Oh, Leo with the just nails in the coffin. I'm toast.
2020.
Crystal Chronicles best game of all time. There you go. Boom.
I
There you
think
go.
that's the show, right?
We're
I think
done.
we did it. Yeah.
Hey.
Going out on top.
But yeah, so I guess I could say I am not excited to play that again.
I am also. They would have to have made some big changes. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, sure. Oddworld Stranger's Wrath HD on Switch.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I like that game. I always like throwing some love at the Oddworld franchise. I think there's a lot of players, even who did play like the Abe games, who maybe never played Stranger's Wrath, and it's a pretty solid entry. So I think if they do manage to modernize it, and I kind of hope that they kind of like make some of the first-person shooting dynamics, maybe update that a little bit, give it a little better modern feel to the gunplay. And I don't know, gunplay is maybe the wrong word, but
We got it.
yeah.
I wonder how much work they're doing. It does seem like good timing for them to get a few more dollars for Soulstorm.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a
I'm
smart
more
play
excited
for
for Soulstorm, which I think is. I don't know if that has a date yet. Hopefully, it's later in the year.
them. Yeah, are
I
we going to
think
talk
there's-
about
Well,
it?
we're going to talk about it today, only on the upcoming games
No dates
discussions.
announced.
Yeah, that is a game that I think that's worthy of excitement because it's like those guys' original vision for where they were going to take the Abe
Right.
story, which is cool.
And I played that the remake of the first one, whenever that came out a few years ago, and I really liked going back to that
Yeah.
series. So it'd be cool to see. This one's even more of a departure, newer things to it.
Totally.
Check it
Yeah.
out.
Next up, please be civil. Don't all yell about how excited you are. Rugby 20, January 23rd.
Cricket.
And don't take this silent. Like I said, if your favorite game comes up here and we just take a steaming on it,
Rugby's
just
a
like,
great sport.
It's
I knew
fine.
many kids who broke their necks playing rugby as a kid.
we share in your excitement, but just the reality is not everybody loves
Not everybody
everything.
loves rugby. What can you do?
Right, but that's January 23rd if you're excited.
And we close it out with a really strong one there.
We
with the
should have
rugby.
brought Rugby McMasters on, our other editor, who's very quiet on the site. He loves that game.
He's got his niche and he's sticking
He
to it.
does. He doesn't do a lot of reviews for us, but
On January 28th, Journey to the Savage Planet. Xbox One and PC.
yeah, I'm curious about that game. I think I'm willing to give it a shot. I like Alex Hutchinson. I think he's done some good work in the past.
What has he
and-
done?
Well, he was connected to the AC franchise for
Did
a
he do
long
Far Cry
time,
4?
and-
He did one of
Yes.
the Far Cries, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
The
Underrated
plot
Far Cry.
thickens.
so new team, new project kind of thing. I'll be curious to see how it shakes out.
I like what he had to say about the game on the GI show with Andy last year.
Did he say it was good?
Yeah, yeah. he was lukewarm about it. No, it sounds like it's a game that kind of respects your time. It has a cool style, goofy style to it, and I'm intrigued.
Right on. This one we do have a great panel for. Pillars of Eternity 2, Deadfire, on January 28th is coming to PS4 and Xbox One.
Yeah, I
Now
mean
that game's already out, right?
It is on
It's been on PC for quite
Yeah,
some
that's the,
time.
And
the
it's-
pirate one, right?
It's a stellar isometric RPG, and I think it's fair to say that at this point, developers have cracked the code a little bit on how to do that kind of stuff well on consoles. I think we've seen some other games like Divinity.
Couch co-op on a CRPG on console. I
That's
never
awesome.
would have believed that if you
would've
told me
worked,
that. Yeah,
but it
Yeah.
does, and and so I'm hopeful that if they do that translation well, that will be really cool. If you haven't played it on PC, or if you just haven't had the opportunity to, because you don't have a PC, that's a worthwhile game to check out.
And that was also Obsidian, if I'm correct. And so post Outer Worlds, I wonder if they'll see a little bit of a bump. They'll probably wrap that into the
Get some
marketing
new. They have some new
somehow.
fans, maybe.
Yeah.
That's interesting, for sure. Here's one that somebody will get $10 if they have heard of before. Through the Darkest of Times.
I'm not getting $10 today.
No, me neither.
January
If I
30th.
say yes, do I get the $10?
I can't prove
You're gonna
you
have to
don't.
validate it.
Yeah,
Okay.
what's it about, Alex?
The absence of light.
Oh, good
Going
call,
out
man.
on a limb there.
You know, it's about World War II. It's a simulation strategy game coming to PC, and I think Alex summed it up perfectly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
There's a
absence of light.
metaphor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're getting into February now.
Ooh, that's a good
The
month.
coldest
The
month.
true absence of light.
That's a good
Coldest.
month.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The darkest of times, you might
It
say.
is dark.
Yeah. The Dark Crystal Age of Resistance Tactics.
Hey.
Yeah.
Hey.
I'm gonna put that in the curious category.
I'm curious about it too. I didn't get to play it when I previewed it, but I did preview it and I talked to the developers some. I think they got some smart ideas. If you haven't watched that Netflix show yet, have you watched? You guys watched that?
I still
Watch
have
part of
not.
it, yeah.
Oh, it's good. It's really good.
Really?
Okay.
Yeah.
The puppetry?
The puppetry is.
I love puppetry.
It's kind of one of these like the whole thing from the production design to the props that they make to the puppetry. It's all these like art forms that nobody pays a lot of attention to. But it's the people who are like the best in the world at doing that who've all come together to make this show. And so it's got remarkable music. It's got a very solid storyline. It's got some awesome voice talent.
Yeah.
I hope some of that comes through to the video game. Some of that sense of quality. I mean, in most ways, it seems like it's kind of a. Do you like Final Fantasy Tactics? Here you
Yes.
go.
Yeah.
Well,
Yes, I do very much.
I
Do that, but with Dark Crystal. But I think you probably, if you wanted to get the most out of it, from what I remember them saying about it, I think you kind of want to watch the show first. But that's not a
like
sacrifice because
Defiance.
it's really good.
I'm
Sci-fi's Defiance.
Yeah.
So we got the show
Yeah.
and the movie. Yeah.
Good
game.
callback there.
Yeah. No, it's on the tip of all of our minds.
Yeah, everybody
It was.
remembers
It really
Defiance.
was.
I'm a huge Final Fantasy Tactics fan, so I was like, when they announced this, even I was like, "What is this? This is insane!" Because I was a fan of the movie when I was a kid, and so I would love this to be awesome.
Yeah.
and I would also love Square to release Final Fantasy Tactics
On a separate topic.
somewhere.
They
Why are you
will.
bothering with Crystal Chronicles, Square?
Yeah.
You're blowing it.
Yeah.
Weird.
Because everyone loves that game.
Right.
So that's February 4th, and the first game on the list so far that's coming to Mac. So shouts out Dark
Yay,
Crystal.
Mac.
Zombie Army 4, Dead War, February 4th.
That's that one that had that really cool music when we saw the trailer, right?
Yeah.
Do you remember this? This is
We were
watching
we
E3.
were blown away by the music. Yeah.
Yeah.
This the Sniper Elite guys? Is this something else? Because
This
they
could
have
be
those
something else.
zombie spin-offs of Sniper Elite also.
I just hear zombie shooty.
It's got to be.
do it.
Yeah,
You
Rebellion. Yeah, totally. I'm excited for this game. I remember that music was such a
It was.
standout. Find that trailer.
I watched that trailer like 7 times just to listen to the music. It was
yeah,
pretty
I was
embarrassing.
like really searching the comments. Does anybody know this song?
Yeah.
Yeah. But that Zombie Army 4 Dead War, February 4th.
Yeah.
Grand Blue Fantasy Versus.
Yeah, so this is this huge franchise overseas that hasn't had a lot of love here.
It's fairly big here too, but you have to jump through a couple of hoops to play.
But not
it.
like it is
Yeah.
there.
Not like it is there.
I mean, like I remember going to a Tokyo Game Show at one point, and it had a display there that dwarfed everything else in the entire exhibit hall. I mean, it was huge in Japan.
It is monstrous in Japan.
and
they
the
have
Grand
it-
Blue franchise, and here this is the Versus one, right?
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Versus.
So this is like the fighting game one. So
Is that the one that they have in big arcade cabinets when you have the cards that keep your save?
Yeah, I don't
and
know.
stuff. I feel like I've seen people.
But it's real pretty. It's a cool art style, kind of medieval fantasy vibe to it.
Okay.
I don't know anything about how the game's going to turn out, but I can tell you it's a big franchise over there. So I suspect it's got a little bit of muscle behind it.
Yeah, right on. That's February 6th.
Good day.
Good day. February 11th, though. Now we're cooking.
Oh, God.
Ori and the Will of the Wisps.
Oh,
Yeah.
here we go.
Yeah.
That's been delayed a lot, right?
I think I can
now
say
the
we've been
year's
waiting for
starting.
that one.
Well,
Yeah.
in fact, wait, what did you say?
Has it been delayed
That's
multiple
delayed
times?
to March, actually.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
is it
they
really?
So
announced it
that
at the Game
delay,
Awards.
that day is old. That date is
But
incorrect.
we could talk about it now. It's fine.
I think it's March 11th, I want to say.
It's a full
Let's
month.
talk
they
about
did
it now.
Yeah.
Let's talk about it. Let's
talk
break
about
our
it
own
now,
rule
but the new
and
date is March
say
11th, yeah.
that we're excited for this game.
I'm
Totally.
very excited.
Yes.
for
Sure,
this game.
absolutely.
Yeah. I was a huge fan of the first one. It's really cool. If you're not familiar, Metroid style game, Metroidvania, if you will. But like the art style is just bar none, like amazing. Like it's really cool indie style art, and the platform is really solid. Challenging. The first game was fairly challenging.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they're kind of going for something similar with this one, but there's more combat to it.
If this is coming out in March now, I think it's safe to say that you could have enough time between this podcast recording and that release to play the first game
Yeah,
if you haven't
definitely.
played it.
Oh, yeah.
And you should. It
Yeah.
holds up.
Is that
Yeah.
on Game
Good.
Pass?
It's good.
Yes, it is.
Probably. It's got to be, yeah.
Yeah.
Good call.
In a word, I would describe it as effervescent.
Oh, yeah.
That's your
Honestly
word.
true, yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I think this is falling into the category of like, it's Ori's kind of a known commodity, so people are like, yeah, and it's been like teased and like announced so many
Right.
times at this point where it's like I don't think the hype is where it should be for that game because that's
Sure.
one of my most anticipated next year.
I think you're right, because they've been teasing it for like 4 years.
But
or
yeah, I
something
mean, if
crazy.
you
long
keep
time.
delaying it, it's like, you could wait for it. This February, we're like, sure,
Well,
guys.
yeah.
great.
I've sort of-
Can't wait.
I've
They gotta
gotten
get it right.
numb to it at some point. It's like, oh, okay, another Ori, but then it'll come out, and I'm sure I'll love it.
Yeah.
Is the thing.
Totally.
But now that they've only delayed it by 1 month, usually if it's only a month delay, you're probably pretty comfortable.
I mean,
with
it's
it.
for the best, obviously.
Yeah.
They need that polish. Yakuza 5, same day, February 11th, PlayStation 4, just the remaster, and then they're all caught up. And then you can play every Yakuza game on PS4, I believe. Yep, that would be the end of an era of them putting out every...
of putting out what they already put out.
Yeah, Yakuza 0 really started something with them. Glad that series caught on over here. Street Fighter 5 Champion Edition for PS4 and PC, February 14th. That's not out already? What is Champion Edition?
Champion Edition.
Oh, that must be like the new year.
Sure.
They do Ultra Edition and things like that. Whatever. No one plays
We're all
it.
champions here.
Get out of here.
Yeah. But save it. Fight with your sweetie. February 14th. Valentine's
That's
Day.
a perfect.
Nothing
Wow,
says
that's perfect
Valentine's
release
Day
date, yeah.
like Street Fighter.
Yeah.
Yeah. Darksiders Genesis is coming to consoles February 14th.
That's right.
Already out on PC and Stadia.
Yep.
Right.
A review is up online if you want to check it out.
And
I
you liked it.
Let's hear the
right?
score, Reeves.
didn't hate. Oh gosh,
What was it?
You didn't
just
hate
reviewed it.
That was last year. I don't remember what the score was.
You did. I think didn't hate it is about right.
Didn't hate it is about right. It's not the best Darksiders game, but it's a co-op game, which is kind of neat if you're in the mood for something. Like it reminded me of. Remember that Lara Croft and what was it called? Lara Croft and the Crystal
They're like
Chronicles?
isometric
Is that
one.
right?
Yeah, Age of Lara Croft.
Yeah.
Something about
Tactics.
Osiris, maybe.
Yeah. Temple of Osiris. It
Yeah.
reminded me of that. So it's a co-op game, a little bit of puzzles, a little bit of fighting.
Should I play it?
You gave it a 6.5.
That answers my question.
Like you said, he didn't totally hate it. It
didn't
wasn't
totally hate it.
broken.
I mean, yeah,
but it wasn't
I'm not gonna-
especially good.
There's a couple things they could patch out, and over the course of a few months, when it comes out on consoles, it might be a little bit better game.
Very true. February 14th, big day, surprisingly. Dreams gets its final
Officially
Whoa.
released.
Official
We think about that
1.0.
game as being out, but
Yeah.
it's not.
You can buy it, and you should right now because it's going to be more expensive once it actually comes out. It's
Ooh.
$30 right now for early access, and that game is in an amazing place. It's just going to get its story mode
Yeah.
on February
Oh,
14th.
okay. Because I was gonna ask, is it like a Minecraft thing where it's just like this is live?
I mean,
no,
it-
it's getting more stuff. It's getting
Okay.
a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then it's going to
1.0.
keep getting supported after that, obviously.
Cool.
Then February 28th, Marvel's Iron Man VR for PlayStation VR.
I mean, within the VR space, I think I could say I'm stoked about that. I would like to pretend to be Tony Stark and fly around.
yeah, Hansen really liked it. He got to play it at a preview.
Yeah.
Now that I have access to VR, it's definitely something I'm excited about and I'll check out. But before then, it's not something that would have made me buy an Oculus.
You know, like that's the thing, right? Like if you just don't, if you haven't invested in VR yet, of course it's impossible to get stoked about this stuff. And I think that continues to be, it was at launch the problem for those platforms, and it continues to be because you might not know anybody who has a VR unit. I think Quest has helped a little bit with that, right?
Yeah.
Because it's a low price point. You don't need a big, like, powerful gaming rig. So I think I just hear in the general conversation around games, there's a few more people within the last few months who are like, oh yeah, I finally got to like do some VR and I'm stoked about it now.
Yeah. Quest is a great entry point for VR for
Agreed.
sure. Next up is One Punch Man, a hero nobody knows, February 28th. Is it a fighting game? It looks like one of those Bandai Namco fighting games. That
If it's a canonical, though, you only have to hit the guy once, right?
yeah.
That actually, you could do an awesome like dive kick style game. Yeah.
Oh man, that's a good idea. Wow.
Yeah.
I am watching the trailer. You do have Dream version Saitama who is in his pajamas. So
Okay, well,
that's going to be
an easy win.
9-5 from Game Informer for that one. Coming in March now. March 3rd, Final Fantasy VII Remake. Never heard of that one.
I think we're
Yeah,
all...
what is this final? I've heard about final something before, and
Yeah, I don't know.
it's
Who cares?
probably not that important.
Yeah. So March 3rd, it's going to be what? The first chapter?
Yeah.
We
It's
don't know how many?
Well, it's like no, we don't. But I mean, I think they've said, haven't they said that it's Midgard?
They have, but
Yeah,
then
right.
a couple days ago, or well, recently, they teased that's, I don't know, that's a Sephiroth image or something, so that implies that would be a little later than Midgard. It's
Well, they're already
They-
moving things around though.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
could be just
okay.
wanting to tease the kind of full series of
Well,
games.
but I
villain.
mean, in the story that they're covering, I know Sephiroth is going to show up earlier
Okay.
than he did in the original.
Sure.
game.
That makes sense.
I would say my biggest concern that remains for Final Fantasy VII remake is storytelling. I think that they have proven out that they've got a good vision for remaking that combat system into something that's meaningful and modern and fun. The visuals look great, but I think especially that that whole sequence in Midgard that I think at least we can presume is the main focus of this installment. Trying to have that be an entire big game all on its own. Some of those story points I just don't think hold up super well without some pretty dramatic
Yeah.
reworking. And so I'm hopeful that they do that. You can count me in the camp that it would be wholly enthusiastic about them kind of like taking an axe to some of the old dialogue and like and doing it in a better modern way, because it's a very old game now. I have much affection for it, but that's where my concern is.
But also, I don't know if I trust modern day Square's storytelling ability.
That's what I'm saying.
Is the other problem?
That's what my concern is that I really hope that they have brought some good writers on and localization people on to like firm that up and make it what it is in our memories rather than what it is.
Yeah, I think the skeleton of Final Fantasy's VII story is pretty solid
Yeah,
still.
I
I
agree.
agree. There's definitely, especially go back now, like translation issues up the butt. But,
Yeah.
but yeah, like if they clean that up and modernize some of the storytelling, that'd be great.
Yeah.
But last few Square games I played, I haven't
Yeah.
fallen in love with the story-wise.
I'd love for it to be a masterpiece. It's certainly unprecedented to take like a beloved game and put 15 years and hundreds of millions of dollars behind like modernizing it.
Yeah.
And if they pull it off, like I don't know,
That'd be
it'll
great.
It's going to be amazing.
Historic.
It's going to be amazing. I have faith.
Good.
Right on.
yeah,
Looking forward to it.
I'm totally looking forward to it.
Seeing here 425 from Game Informer. Yikes.
Oh,
That would
Oh,
be,
boy.
wow, that would be something.
Neo 2, March
Hey!
13th, also PS4
You're stoked
exclusive.
about that, Dan.
Absolutely. Can't wait.
Yeah. Did you play the beta?
Nope. I'm going into
You're
this
going in
one
fresh.
completely fresh. You know, obviously, I really enjoyed Neo 1. We did a lot of stuff on the site, and I had a blast reviewing that one, and I cannot wait. I mean, even if it's just more of the same, and like I said, I have not done any of the coverage for this one, so I'm going in blind.
That's
Which is
nice.
really a great way to do those games, honestly, I think.
Yeah. MLB The Show 20, March 17th, also on PS4. We've got fans in the office, but not in this room.
I'm looking to, let's knock around a few balls.
Yeah, brother. Now we're talking March 20th, Animal Crossing New Horizons for Switch.
Now,
You're going to have a lot of people in the Game Informer offices who are pretty stoked about that. That is
I was going to
Certainly.
say in the community too, but it doesn't seem like it's this panel.
Yeah.
I think
maybe
it's
not.
one of those things where I have to wait. Like, Animal Crossing is a very mixed bag for me. I like some of them. I don't like some of them. It's
Sometimes you like crossing with the animals, and sometimes you don't.
sometimes I like getting bells and giving him. It's
Got to hit you in the right mood.
it really does. It's one of those. It's one of those very zen-like games for me, where you can like other people talk about Stardew Valley in the same way.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
so just this very simple, calming effect of building up your own little thing and hanging out with some really with some fake people.
Going to your friends' villages. That stuff seems interesting. Yeah, I've never been into the series before, but it's one of those types of games where when it's on Switch, I'll take a look at it because that seems like the perfect place for it.
Yeah.
Doom Eternal, also March 20th.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I'll be doing.
Yeah.
Oh.
I like that kind of yin
Forget
and
cutesy
yang.
animals. I'll be punching demons in the face.
The total antithesis. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Anybody crazy about the first one? First Doom?
I really
It's
like
a really good game.
Yeah.
The 2016 one, you
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that one. I think it was a great game. Great single player. I didn't dive too much into multiplayer or
Yeah,
the creation
I'm with
stuff.
you there.
But like,
Missed out, man.
I mean that sense of like speed, like mixing first person shooting with almost a sense of like you're in like a racing game almost. Like that's
Yeah.
how I sometimes felt. It reminded me the sense of it reminds me of how I feel when I'm playing a racing game.
For sure.
yeah.
I wasn't.
I'm down to have some more of that.
Yeah, I wasn't crazy about it overall, but the movement speed, it's like when you play Doom 2016, it's like, why did we ever stop having you move this fast?
Oh, yeah.
Why did we think
Yeah.
trudging through sludge
Well,
is going to be better?
That's what I loved about it is as first-person shooters evolved, they sort of became more realistic. Even the ones that are like set in space, like the guns work kind of like guns would work, and you have to take cover and like strategize in a more realistic way. Whereas I like Doom, it's sort of this imaginary like, well, what if they hadn't evolved that way, and what if we just kind of kept doing this
This
sort of
other
more
thing.
arcadey like experience where everything's fast and visceral, and you don't
For
have
sure.
to worry about reloading your gun.
Yeah.
Then that's fun.
Yeah. And Doom Eternal has all those new like grappling hook mechanics. The new movement looks interesting.
It's weird to say a game like that was so focused on paying homage to the old ones felt fresh, but
Totally.
it really did.
Yeah, that's definitely a testament to how much good work they did making that franchise relevant. Bleeding Edge, March 24th, Xbox exclusive.
Yeah.
That's a character action game from a team we know as.
Oh, is that the Ninja Theory one?
Yeah.
Yes, thank
Okay.
you.
It is.
It was a quiz. He knew. He knew. He just wanted to know if you knew.
Yeah, my sigh of relief is unrelated.
I love those guys, but that game doesn't do a whole lot for me.
I would love
hope
to be
those-
surprised by it, but yeah,
Yeah.
you kind of
Yeah,
feel like
we'll
you get it looking at it.
Yeah.
4v4 team fighter.
We'll see how it shakes out. I mean, I think we're likely to see a number of teams in the coming years kind of iterating on that idea of like, hey, let's make some really interesting kind of hero characters and see them fight in one form or another.
Yeah.
We've already seen some of that, following on the heels in many ways of what how Overwatch found success. But we'll see how this one shakes out. It doesn't seem like it's their normal area of expertise,
Right.
but they're a good studio.
Yes, and too early to tell.
Yeah.
Journey of the Savage Plan is coming to PS4 March 31st. Persona 5 Royal also March 31st.
Oh man, we got some RPG fans in the upstairs part of this office who are ready to pour another 100 hours into that thing.
I might actually beat it this time through.
Yeah.
That's my goal.
Yeah.
Forgive my ignorance. Is Royal like the definitive edition of Persona 5, or is it like new content?
He
There's
doesn't
new
know.
content.
Let's
There's
all
new
tell him,
content.
guys.
Well, it's both those things,
Yeah.
right? I mean, I think the idea is that they're adding in some new stuff. I think there's at least one major new character.
That's
is
right.
My understanding.
Yep. Okay.
But it's also effectively the definitive version of the game. So if you haven't played Persona 5 at this point, you probably wait. You do Royal.
Oh, yeah.
You
Honestly,
wait, give it
you
another
wait.
couple months. You play Royal, and you're like, yeah, now I get it. Now I know why people like this thing so much.
similar to Animal Crossing, though, that's a game that needs to come to Switch for me to be interested.
Oh, really?
Or
Really?
like realistically making that commitment. Just for where I'm at in my gaming.
Yeah.
Hey,
My PS4 is barely plugged in.
let's
Okay.
get gaming.
That's
Let's-
You know where it
I
needs
did
to
not
come?
know that about you.
It needs to come to PC. Let's just go right above that.
Yeah.
And just, boom, make it happen.
Honestly. Second window all day.
Yeah, there you go.
In April now. April.
Oh,
Here
we're
we
so
go.
far into the year.
April 3rd, Resident Evil 3 Nemesis.
Oh man, I'm excited.
That's soon.
Ben,
Yeah, that is soon.
that's gonna be your jam, right?
Do you think this
Sure.
is going to
I'm
be
gonna
the
spread that over some toast and eat it up.
Yeah.
Nom nom.
I can't wait. I'm excited. Not as excited as I was for 2 because 2 was like one of my favorite games of all time, and 3 is one of my least favorite Resident Evil games. But in a
Yeah.
weird way, like that's cool because like maybe they can like revive 3 and make it better than it ever was.
Totally. I mean, Resident
That's
Evil
what they
2
did
remake.
with 2, right? Even though it was
Yeah.
one of your favorite games, the new one you like even better, right?
Yeah, totally.
And it's so modern and different. Like, I could totally see it working with a game that wasn't even good to begin with.
yeah, I mean it was.
If that's
wasn't
what you
bad,
think. I
but
didn't
yeah,
play it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, and a Nemesis stalking you around.
Yeah. What's weird is like
Mr. X vibes?
there's so many. Yeah, that we had that a little bit with Mr. X this year. So I guess they'll do it again, but hopefully it'll be better. They'll do it better.
I'll be disappointed if it's just the same thing again, but I doubt that's what they'll do.
Yeah.
I think they could expand on that concept, and it's such a good, fun gameplay mechanic and just terrifying horror game mechanic.
Yeah. In the
Love it.
original game, he had like a bazooka. So imagine Mr. X carrying a bazooka around.
That's good stuff.
That's
Okay.
pretty terrifying, right?
Sure. Yeah, Mr. X is scary, but what if he had dual Berettas, dude?
Watch out. What if his hat was a razor blade?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's just odd job.
Yeah, and he was super short. Would
Yeah.
he still be terrifying?
Yeah, probably.
Probably if he was short and really fast.
Oh my gosh.
That could be really
Yeah,
scary.
that is scary.
April 16th, we've got Cyberpunk 2077.
Is that an indie game?
I don't
I'm
think
not
anybody's
familiar.
going to play that.
Yeah.
Is
Yeah.
anybody
Move on.
looking forward to that one?
What's after that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's just move on.
Can we talk about rugby again? No. Okay.
Please. Are we confident that's hitting that date?
They
Yes.
They doubled
during
down.
the Game
I think
Awards,
they did double
didn't say
down.
anything.
Yeah.
Seems like
I
it.
think that they want to make that happen.
Don't we all?
Yeah.
I think we all want to make that happen. I'm excited for that one for sure. That's a game where I'm like, I need to clean my plate.
Yup.
Before I need to
Yeah.
get Resident Evil done. I need to get any Final Fantasy, whatever else I was playing up to that point needs to be done so I can dive into Cyberpunk.
Yeah.
'Cause that's a game where kind of like Skyrim. The anticipation to that, I was like, I'm going to lose hundreds of hours in this game, so I need to be ready.
Yeah, that's exciting.
I'm excited.
Can we christen it a work holiday where we all just play it? Is that possible?
Isn't that the worst is that it's the time we most need to be working so we can make content about
Yeah.
it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a sneaking suspicion there might be some sick days.
There will be a lot of very ill people that
Yeah,
it's
that's
an
right.
ill month.
Yeah. Just come in and play it on stream.
Uh-huh.
April 24th, Predator Hunting Grounds for PS4. Now that is from the Dead by Daylight people, right? And not just a take on Dead by Daylight? Or is it just
Is that what it is? I have no idea.
I'm going to confirm it right now. But that is, that's the asymmetrical multiplayer getting hunted by the Predator, right?
I think so.
So they definitely got their chops down with Dead by Daylight. I mean, I don't play that, but I know a ton of people who do, and they absolutely love it. So
Sorry, it's Friday the 13th, the game.
Oh.
They did Friday the
Okay.
God.
There's a lot of people who like that
That's
one.
still
though.
cool.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
There
Have
are
a
a lot of people who
foundation.
liked it, but I don't think even the people who liked it would say this is the most solid game that has ever been crafted,
Yeah.
right?
Sure. Yeah. That was at least at launch when we were covering it. There
I
were
remember
some
that.
issues.
That was
Yeah, it's
we
dicey.
tried to get it to
It's a
work.
little dicey.
Yeah.
There's a replay of that or something, right? There's a new gameplay today where we're just having some issues.
Having some issues. Yes, there is. Anybody excited about the Predator as a man, as a character?
As a man?
As a
As a
man,
man, not so much.
As a man-shaped guy.
I would
whatever
be
he
more
is.
excited about the
Me
Predator as a man.
or the Predator is a man, and am I excited about that?
Oh, if he was a
Predator-
There's a lot of
man,
ways to break this down, Leo.
I'd be so much more excited if he was a man.
Yeah.
Predator is
Really?
like
I like Predator actually as a man, as a concept.
What about Predator as a woman?
Or a woman.
No,
Yeah,
they've done that
exactly.
too, right? Like there are female predators in the universe.
so,
are there?
yeah.
Predatus.
Who could forget Aliens versus Predator? One of the god.
Yeah.
It's a new year. We need to forget about these
Yeah.
things. Move on.
I'll be honest though, like Predator in video games has never totally clicked for me.
Exactly.
Like I
No.
think it's
Yeah.
such a cool concept, a cool character / man, and like I wish they had
Such a
nailed
cool
it in
man.
the games. Yeah.
And he's got the detective vision.
Yeah,
Built
totally.
in.
Just
That's
Arkham,
game
Arkham
mechanic right
Predator.
Make an awesome single player game where
Yeah.
he's hunting down different aliens.
I think we should just make a new game, a story-based narrative game where the Predator is a man.
Yeah.
It's just like, what
Let's do
if
it.
Predator was
What
a
are
man?
those, what challenges would he go
Is that
for?
Like
the name of the game?
Some
In the
Kafka-esque
style of
thing where the
Mosaic.
Predator turns into a man.
What if?
It has to
Question
live as a
mark.
man.
Predator is a man.
what is a predator but a miserable
He has to
pile
get a
of
normal
science?
job.
Yeah, he's working at like Walmart or something. Like,
Yeah.
He's just,
Predator
like,
is a
casually,
Walmart
like,
greeter.
that's great.
Yeah.
I would play that.
Miller's got the idea.
Yep. Let's roll
Book
with it.
it,
Let's
print it.
print it up.
Oh yeah, hi.
This is where you come for the incisive insight into video games.
Wait,
think
where are
we
your
broke it
paper
down.
Game
Towels.
Inform,
towels?
everybody.
This is the informing for Game
We're
Inform.
doing some
Yes.
real informing right now.
AB.
Yeah.
So that's a PlayStation 4 exclusive. You lucky dogs.
Yep.
Trials of Mana,
Hell yeah.
April 24th.
Yeah.
Very,
Yeah.
very hype for this one.
Yeah.
Extremely hype. I mean, I've actually delayed going back and playing that one on the collection because I have the collection right now, but I'm not going to play that one, even though I played it like I don't know, 20 years ago, whenever. I refuse to do it because I want to play the remake instead of the original. and it's looking really, really great. I love the Mana series.
Collection of Mana is one of the games I'm going to play over. Oh, I played over break, and it was great.
Yeah.
Right.
I loved it, so I'm very
Playing right
excited
now.
for it.
Good save. Good save.
Keep going.
May, the month of May.
Here we go.
Maneater. Coming to everything May
that's the
5th.
shark game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't
Yes.
wait.
Yeah,
Looks
that
like
game
a-
is so silly, but you know what? It's the perfect like palate cleanser for after something like Cyberpunk. It's just like I want to play something dumb and fun. I mean,
Yeah.
very
Yeah.
smart and like
No, that's hilarious. That's what I was gonna say. Yeah, it looks
'Cause,
like
yeah.
just good dumb fun.
good, dumb, clean
Stupid,
fun.
idiotic fun.
And that can be good.
Yeah.
Totally. No,
I
that
think
game
we
looks
could
good.
make so much good content from that. I'm excited.
Yes, 100%. May 15th, Marvel's Avengers.
Vengers. Big property.
Big property. That seems, I don't
you
know.
know,
Everything seems so soon. It's so much sooner than I thought it would be.
Yeah.
I think I turned around a little bit on my enthusiasm for that in a good way.
Turn from bad to good.
I was very, very dicey on it at E3, to be honest, which was a bummer for me because I'm a big Marvel fan. But I got a chance to talk with the creative director, and we did a feature a couple months back where they talked about kind of the vision of where they're going with it. It feels like, there's a good bit of sort of Destiny DNA in there with what they're actually going for. That's apparent to me now, and I'm a big Destiny fan as well. So I think if they can hit a sweet spot on the action, which is the big blind spot for me at this point, because I haven't really played it yet. I dig the idea of this kind of long investment loop of coming back with these characters and leveling them up and getting new gear, improving your helicarrier. That whole vibe, I think I can get behind.
Yeah. If they pull that off.
If they pull off the actual action gameplay, that's a very, very big
Right.
important component there.
It's far
feel
from a
like-
new IP, but it's certainly unproven in games. Like they have
sure.
to make a lot of new aspects of that franchise work.
They bit off a lot. I
They
think.
did.
'Cause there's so many characters in the game, and they all control so different. Even in a game like Destiny, like you're all still guys with
Right, a
guns.
warlock
Right.
and a
First-person
titan,
shooter.
they might have different powers, but you're still kind of running along. It's first-person shooter.
Yeah.
Most of the time, you're just pulling the trigger on the gun.
And that's not a slight against Destiny. I
No.
like Destiny, but it's just what they chose to go
Yeah,
for.
yeah.
Whereas, like if you're going to do all the Avengers, they have wildly different power sets,
Yep.
and to
Yeah.
pull all of them off well, it's a tall order. But
Lego
I'm
Marvel superheroes did it.
Lego Marvel did it. Lego
Well,
Marvel's
It can
Avengers.
be done.
And I think the bigger challenge there is not only do they have to do it with these characters they've already announced, but the whole idea is that they're going to add a whole new character on a regular basis, right? So if you think about them, I know they don't want to call them classes, but they kind of are, right? Like each of these characters is a different way that you'd approach combat, whether you're flying around as Iron Man or you're hitting stuff with Thor's hammer. Like they each have their own ability sets. And then if they throw in a new character down the road, then you've got to figure out how that's going to work, right? So you put in Ant-Man, all of a sudden you got to deal with like height changing powers, right?
Yeah.
You-
Which would be cool. Ant-Man, if they pull that off,
That'd
of you
be really
actually
awesome.
being
That'd be a
still
lot of
close to the
fun.
character but super small
Right.
on the
Yeah.
battlefield.
But it'd be very challenging. It's a whole different thing that they've got to implement with every character that they bring in. So
Yeah.
Does
I
that
think
break the
that's-
game? Does that break combat? Does
Yeah.
it break this
Yeah.
level?
For sure.
Yeah.
We'll see, but I am tentatively excited about it. I think conceptually, if done really well, it could be a great game that I would come back to throughout the year potentially, and could be another thing that would sit beside something like Destiny for me that I'd play all the time, but only if they can really nail that action.
Have they said if you're going to be able to have 4 of the same Avenger?
I don't
On your
know
team?
if they have talked about that. If they have, I've missed it. So apologies, but like I know you're getting different costumes and stuff for all your
Sure.
Avengers, some of which unlock in game and some of which are like just the cosmetic stuff is purchasable. But yeah, it would be kind of interesting if you could run in with like 4 Thors.
Yeah. And 7 years ago.
But you could be.
Thank you. Thank you.
But they could make that cool if it's like, you're Thor and then like Jane Foster,
Yeah.
do the
Sure.
do the
And
different
Federate Bill or
variants.
something.
Yeah.
I mean, if they have enough different costumes,
Yeah.
like they could have like, here's this character type but
Yeah.
it's not the same character.
Yeah,
quote
or like
unquote.
I don't know. They haven't said if Spider-Man's gonna be in or not, but like Spider-Gwen, Miles Morales, like
They would have similar.
there's ways you could do that I think could be cool.
What an incredibly missed opportunity if Spider-Man's not in it, but I guess there might be some contractual stuff since it's coming to everything versus Spider-Man just being on PS4.
Sure.
My other question about it, they have said stuff about the story. I'm going to say stuff they've said about the story that might spoil things if you don't want to know. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, Captain America's dead. Do you never get to play as him?
I don't
wonder how that's gonna
understand
work.
how that whole thing works.
Yeah.
Because they talk about him as if he's a playable character, and yet
It's fine.
I
You can
mean,
always
he's
make
coming
things
back.
happen in a video.
Like,
I mean, come
yeah.
on.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of the Marvel MO is they'll pull him from a different universe.
There's
He's
something-
with the gang.
You
again.
can.
He'll be back like after the first third of the game, I'm sure.
Yeah,
We'll
probably
see.
true.
They'll
Unless
find him.
it's Sam Wilson, you know, you build that. You start with Steve Rogers. He dies, and then
Oh yeah, totally could happen.
Yeah.
That's May 15th.
Yeah.
Wasteland 3 coming May 19th. Second game on the list. That's coming to Mac,
Oh,
among other things.
I did a preview of this not too long ago, and like I've never been a Wasteland guy. I love Fallout though, and this one has me kind of intrigued. I like strategy, so there's like, top-down strategy elements, and it's also a giant world, and everything's voiced this time because they got that Microsoft money. And
Yeah.
I don't know, this one I might dive in to Wasteland for the first time. It's cool. It's set in my home state of where am I from?
Colorado.
Colorado.
Who are you, man?
Yeah.
Colorado, I think is what it's called.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm excited for that.
That seems like one of those franchises that has been sitting there waiting for me to play it and like it, and I just haven't pulled the switch, pulled the lever.
Nintendo Switch.
Thank you.
No.
Not coming to Switch though. May 29th, The Last of Us Part 2, PS4.
Another game nobody's ever heard of.
Yeah.
Got a couple of those on this list.
It
You
is
have to play the
wild
first
to
part.
me.
Does the year needs to slow down? Like,
Yeah.
there's been like a
This is May.
Yeah,
It's
I
got
know.
We're
so
not
many
even
heavy
into
hitters
the
already.
real summertime yet.
Yeah.
Here.
first half of the year is a monster.
Yeah,
That
but
is a
we're doing
monster.
cleanup on all the stuff that didn't come out this year,
Yeah.
so it
Yeah.
makes sense.
It's wild to me that we're getting Last of Us, Cyberpunk, and Avengers basically within a
back to
month.
back?
Like that's crazy.
Yeah.
Like, and they could all Avengers we'll see, but they could all be Game of the Year contenders, and we're not even to the new consoles.
Well,
It seems like it'll be a tougher discussion about Game of the Year at the end.
I'll tell you, I'm excited about that. I usually am excited when there's a big grouping early in the year because it means that that stuff isn't going to be during the holiday season, right? Like
Yeah.
having it all grouped together in the holiday season is the worst because obviously you want to play everything.
Yeah.
But then you just feel like it's almost like stressful trying to get to stuff. And so when some of the big games that we're excited about, like Cyberpunk, like Last of Us Part 2, are in that first half of the year, then it feels like, we spread the love a little bit and there's excitement to be had throughout the year, which is, I don't know, as a hobbyist of games, that's the way I prefer to have things be. And there's
completely
every
agree.
reason to think, by the way, on the subject of this particular game, that's going to be amazing.
Oh yeah, Last of Us Part 2 for
yeah.
sure. But the one thing that worried me, and it'll shake out fine, but I adored the multiplayer in The Last of Us 1.
Really?
Still a pretty active player base.
so
You can find the
good,
game there.
yeah.
Yes, Alex and I have bonded over
Yes,
this.
it's so good.
Oh, okay.
I really like it.
I think the combat in that game is generally underrated. People
Yeah.
say, "Oh, you have to play it between the cutscenes," but I think it's really strong, and especially in multiplayer where you've got all these really interesting perks and builds you can make.
Yeah.
As far as like being stealthy on the battlefield, it's like a totally unique, fun multiplayer, and that is not going to be a part of Last of Us Part 2. They announced it's going to be a standalone thing.
later in the year, I think.
Yeah. Which hopefully that means they're getting behind it in a bigger way rather than we're going to shoehorn it off to the side way,
Sure.
because I think it has so much potential.
Well, and this is speculation on my part, but don't you think that's a pretty big seller? Like, I would imagine they whenever Last of Us comes to PS5, be like, hey, and this is where you can play the multiplayer. Like, I feel like that'd be a decent selling point.
Yeah, it's possible.
I mean, I'd be surprised if it wasn't there, and I'll be surprised if Last of Us Part 2 doesn't also there isn't a port to the new
course.
Sony system. That said, I'm going to be very surprised if there's more than a few games that are exclusive to PS5. I just don't know that with how much a big AAA game like that costs at this point, that you can, if you're a company like Naughty Dog, that you can get away with the idea of like, we only put it on this new platform that just has this many available units out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I guess I think they wouldn't paywall it by the PS5, but I think that would be the marketing push of like the perfect
best
way to
place
play
to
this
play it.
is PS5, and that's when the multiplayer is coming out.
Absolutely.
But they're not dropping PS4 like the biggest install base
Yeah.
they could possibly have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I'm very excited for that game.
I just did last year. I did a video with former intern Nick Straub about Last of Us, and it reminded me how amazing like everything is and how subtle that game is
Yes.
at times. And I'm so excited.
What's
for
that
this.
video called?
It's Ellie's Unrelenting Soul. I'll have to. Something like
search
that.
Ellie Soul Game Informer.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah,
Yeah, but that is a good
Beyond
catch
Two
up.
Souls.
Yeah.
I don't.
yeah.
If you're not replaying the first one, that is a good catch up of kind of the story and so many. I love how many accurate clips there are in that video. It's like a perfect clip for exactly what is being talked about.
Yeah.
Fast and Furious Crossroads, May 30th. Equally exciting, more exciting. Where are we at?
Then Last of Us?
Yeah, then The Last of Us Part 2.
It has to be more, right?
Some kind of joke.
More, for
It's-
sure.
It just announced at the Game Awards, right?
Equally a game.
Those are both video
Yep.
games.
Yeah.
Equally $60.
Yep. Same value.
Yeah.
Moving on.
We don't know that much about that game, to
Yeah.
be fair. I think
yeah.
there's a lot of Fast and Furious and fans out there.
For sure. I
and
can't believe they haven't capitalized
I
earlier. I'm
agree
sure
with
there's some
that.
mobile thing or something. But
So yeah, I don't think we're being a hit squad on the thing. It's just there's
Sure.
not a lot to know about it in comparison with, it's a hard act to follow here, right? Like,
yeah. It's a really funny jump on this list.
Here, I'll be positive about it. Do you guys remember
Okay.
the stunt game? Was it Split Second? It was like a racer that like
Stuntman?
you were.
Is that the one you go back in
Well,
time?
yeah,
It
I
wasn't-
played a lot of Stuntman.
Yes, we did Split Second on replay not long ago, and we were all blown away by how
Well,
fun it still looked.
If it's something like that, sweet. I mean,
Yeah.
that sounds
Oh,
great.
that'd be great.
Yeah.
That game holds up impressively well. Split Second.
Yeah,
if it
Split
has-
Second's an actual racing game, though.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah, but
Yeah.
that game is great.
Yeah.
So if you do, just do that.
Just do that. Yeah.
Why don't
it'd be
you just
great.
do it?
And then you put Vin Diesel's biceps in there, it'll be great. It'll be fine.
That's gonna be.
It's a big IP.
It's gonna
Vin
be
Diesel's
right in the
bicep.
middle of the screen for you the whole time.
Yeah.
Here's his bicep.
Yeah.
Just live action, him flexing.
Yeah.
He just pops on screen every once in a while.
So those are all the releases that have dates so far for next year, and we've got a bunch more that do not have dates. But this seems like a good time to take a quick break, and we'll be right back with all the rest of the games that do not have set release dates coming out in 2020. Welcome back to the Game Informer Show. We got all the same people. We're all still here, and we're here to talk about a bunch of the rest of the games that are announced for 2020 that we are excited about.
Now our bellies are full.
Our bellies are full.
they've
Post
been-
lunch,
Our hearts are twice as full.
and it's still the new year.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So great.
Continues to be
Love
as
this
What
year.
2020.
an amazing holiday season that was.
When Trump got impeached. This is before that. We don't know how that turned out. So this is not a comprehensive list. We're talking about just like I'm going through the list of what we have for 2020. We're talking about the stuff that we are interested in. So we're losing the full informational aspect here. We're here to talk about what we're excited for in 2020. First up, 12 Minutes. Do you guys remember this game?
Yes.
Oh yeah,
Top down time loop.
that
Yeah.
game looks cool.
You and your wife keep getting killed.
Yeah,
by
that does look
assassin?
neat.
That does look really, really neat. We've only seen that one trailer at this point, I think. But I'm still interested in that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That does look
I'm not that interested in it.
Whoa!
I'm gonna be the cooler at the table, but that's
Why?
cool.
What didn't appeal to you about that?
In that kind, I need to know more.
You just don't like
So-
intrigue or cool art
Or interesting
like,
You got me.
games.
We're starting
Indie
off hot.
games. Yeah.
I hate everything.
No, honestly though, like, what is playing that game going to be like? All they've shown in the
Right.
trailer is like 2 rooms. You're in a small apartment. What are you controlling?
I need to like experience the loop and
Yeah.
see if it's satisfying. Like, because if it turns into one of those things where you're just like playing it and then like picking a new decision each time until you get to a fail state.
Sure.
And it's like, oh, I picked the wrong one last time. I'll pick the right one this time. Choose
Yeah.
your own adventure until you hit the wrong page, kind of thing. That can be less enticing than creating an organic experience, which is really difficult. So I'm wondering to see how it pulls it off.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Interest is peaked though. Axiom Verge 2.
Oh,
Switch. Yeah, we had no idea,
reactions.
right?
We got some fans here.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of the first one.
that's a great game.
It's maybe one of the best Metroid style games out there.
Oh, for sure.
I would put it up there with Metroid itself, honestly. Like, I think
Wow.
I like it that much. I was a huge fan of the first Axiom Verge. The guy spent like 4 years making
One
it.
guy, right?
Yeah, and he spent another 4 years making this one. So
Yeah.
my hopes are high that he'll nail it again.
That is crazy.
Do you think
This-
we're gonna get another one? Is 3 on the way 4 years from here?
I can't imagine like putting 4
Well,
years.
at some point he's got to just stop making them, even though everybody's asking for them, and just be
Yeah.
done like Nintendo
Sure.
did.
True Metroid style.
Yes, like if he really wants to follow the
Metroid.
arc.
Here we go. 3v3 ball shooting game.
That's right.
I'll make that instead.
I remember that.
Yeah.
Man.
I asked him when the first one came out. I was like, "Hey, for the next one, you think you'd do like a Super Axiom Verge, kind of go that direction with it?" But he was like, "Well, I just like this art style. Like, I like this pseudo 8-bit art style."
Yeah.
And like, the more I've thought about it, the more I'm like, well, I do like that art style a lot too. Like, if it went up to the 16-bit, I think it would lose something.
Sure.
I mean, I think you could. There are plenty of games out there that are
I
16-bit
also like that
inspired.
art style,
Yeah, and I
but
love that
it's a
art
different
style.
thing.
But this is his niche. Like, he knows what he's doing. I'm going to trust him with it.
Sure.
Yeah. What a passion project to put 4 years of your life solo into something like that and then immediately start on a sequel.
That's crazy.
Like, you must really love what you're doing.
Yeah.
Which is awesome.
Yeah.
Anybody excited for Bravely Default 2?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Which is not Bravely Second. Bravely Default 2. You gotta love the naming conventions. I mean, I do hope it is a little less repetitive in sort of the end game stages than the other games have been, and it can just keep all of the cool aspects of the other games intact. You know, give that old school turn-based RPG experience in a neat format. I'm cautiously optimistic.
Can you explain that title to me?
No.
Why it's called?
Yeah, I didn't understand that
No.
when it was announced. 'Cause it's the third game?
This will be the third game, yeah.
There's
But
a
why
name
was the first
generator.
one called Bravely Default? Like,
Why is anything called anything?
Okay. I mean,
Usually because it has something to do with the project, generally speaking.
yeah, you want to ask me that about Control or something?
No.
Or- Okay.
I'll pass.
Yeah, why is it called The Last of Us?
I'm sure there is a really good reason.
Yeah, there probably is.
I'm sure
yeah.
there is.
Yeah. Next up that I'm picking here, Chivalry 2. Anybody fan of the first one? Chivalry, that PC medieval first-person
No.
dueling kind
Why
of
is
game.
it called Chivalry?
This one's
I've heard
been
Chivalry's dead. I'm confused.
this one's been a very
Chivalry
long
might
time
be
coming,
dead.
and there's a
Yeah.
whole PC crowd that is very excited for it. Like the people who play the Mount and Blade games, the Chivalry, obviously.
Mordhau kinda ate its lunch this year, yeah.
All those sort of style of games, and this one's really big in scope, but I don't think we've got a real good handle on the exact specifics just yet. So let's see what happens. And is that an EGS exclusive, or am I crazy?
EGS exclusive, huh? Let me check. Here I
Some
go.
Hubbub about that.
Yeah, that one. I associate that one so closely with Steam. That would be a big get. Here I go. Hitting search.
and survey says,
It's on Epic Game Store. Yep, it is exclusive.
Well, there you go.
Now, see, that's bold.
big get.
But at least all the development costs of the game are taken care of, right? Hey.
Hey,
What else we got?
Crossfire X. It's a Korean shooter, right?
It's like a Crossfire is like super huge.
I don't know if it's Korean. It's
in,
very, very huge overseas. I think it's
overseas.
China. Is it China?
Massive.
I think it is China where it is especially big, but
It's sort of like their version of Call of Duty.
Counter
Is that my
Strike.
understanding?
Counter Strike X Call of Duty. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
They're big shooter.
That thing.
Online FPS.
I was not at all interested in this until I heard that Remedy was doing the single-player campaign,
That's-
and then I'm slightly intrigued. I
That
mean,
was surprising.
if nothing else, to see like what Remedy, their
do
style
with
of
a
games
military first-person
is going to
shooter.
do in a military shooter. Yeah. So
How does that deal even happen? I'm really
That's
curious.
to get the Western audience on board. I'm super not excited
to
to
get
see this
people
come
like
over.
you to be like, I wonder about that now.
honestly, because I'm not. I play some Call of Duties. I'm not a huge Call of Duty guy or Counter-Strike guy, but I don't know. So without this, I would not check out Crossfire. But now I'm thinking about checking it out.
That makes sense. Yeah, I see how getting a name like Remedy would put a lot of trust in your franchise. Death Stranding coming to PC next year. Would you play it then, Tack?
Yes, I am planning to play it when
wow.
it comes on PC. I've kept myself completely spoiler free,
Wow.
Yeah.
so I have no idea what happens in that game other than delivering
you have
packages.
a PS4. I mean, you
I do.
could-
Well,
why
I have
wouldn't
to,
you
have to
want
get the
play?
dust off of it.
Yeah, sure, but why?
Why are you against playing it?
He's
on
the PC
PS4.
I
editor.
really don't want to play on the PS4 unless I'm absolutely forced to.
Huh.
Like, you get a much better experience on PC, just better frame rate and everything. I don't have a PS Pro or anything, so.
Yeah.
That game does look nice on a PS4 Pro, for sure. Destroy All Humans is coming back.
All right. It's sort of like,
The one we've all been asking for.
Yeah.
It's finally here.
That's so tightly tied to like the PS2 generation as far as what you were doing in it. I don't know
It's
how
like-
they're going to modernize it.
It's like making a Spawn video game.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
It's like, it feels like kind of part of a different time.
The other thing is, I played it at E3, and not only, I mean, it looks a little bit better, a little bit, but I feel like it plays exactly like it used to. So
Really?
I'm like, I don't know. This is a game that needs more of an update, I think. I think there's some games that can get away with that, like the Spyro series, when they released that trilogy. You're like, it definitely feels dated, but it's still fun to play.
and they get the fallback of it being a remaster, right? Isn't this a new game?
No, Destroy All Humans is a remake.
Oh, it's just a remake?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
okay.
I
So
thought
it feels just like the original too, which I
Okay.
think needs more of an update. But-
I definitely have a nostalgia. I played those a little bit, but
Lots of people do, yeah. Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure
it
it'll
was just
find its
dumb
audience.
fun.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. Dying Light 2.
Yes.
Yeah, Alex.
Oh yes.
Alex.
I was totally taken with that 27-minute demo, and obviously I like to be optimistic, but if they can hit even like 75% of what they showed in that, like I'm all in, because I liked the first one, but it didn't grab me. This one looks like it could grab me.
Yeah, the first one I found really fun co-op, and just it felt great to traverse that world. It's kind of got that good Titanfall parkour where you are jumping and pushing in the direction of something,
Yeah.
and you can be precise,
It
but
feels
you can
very
also
natural.
be. Yeah, exactly. That's
Yeah.
exactly the way I put it. Elden Ring. The
Oh,
old.
I might be a little excited for this one. Oh,
Is
yeah.
that coming to PC though?
Yes.
Oh,
Okay, well,
we
never
sure
mind.
don't. We sure don't know too much about
We
this
don't.
one
We
yet.
do know, I think that's been hinted at or implied. It's some take on an open world from game.
With George R.R. Martin.
Involving Mr. Game of Thrones himself. Or, I'm sorry, Song of Ice and Fire, if we want to be technically correct, right?
yeah.
But yes,
So he's writing all the item descriptions.
apparently he's working I have no idea what to expect from this, and I'm actually surprised we didn't see more of it last year. But I still think it is probably going to release this year. They have their turnaround from like announcement to release is pretty. They've hit it every time, and so that's why we haven't seen gameplay yet. It's actually kind of mysterious. So I'm hoping that the scale and scope of that game are what's taking the extra time, and let them have all the time they need. Let's make it happen.
to make it good.
Yeah.
What if George R.R. Martin is holding him up? What if he's like,
God, I can't.
Yeah, I like to do things a little slower. Personally.
you're rushing along with this.
We
2
ever-
years? Come on.
We ever get the cover story for that one, I'm gonna be like, okay, we need to get Martin and Miyazaki in a room, and I want to see them interact.
Just
with each other.
talk.
that would be
just for them to have a
incredible.
conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be
Yeah.
something.
Oh man.
Anybody excited for Empire of Sin? It's a mobster RPG.
I am
Yeah.
actually. Yeah, I'm a
You did
big.
some coverage of that, didn't you?
Yeah, I saw it at E3, and I thought it looked cool even then. And so now, after a year, it'll probably look even better. But it's Romero Games. Is that the official studio? It's Brenda Romero, who's John Romero's wife, but she's a game developer, all of her own standing. And it's a sort of XCOM-y tactical sim, but set in the gangster world. You know, ye old gangster world.
The old gangsters.
So tell me,
With
if
the
you-
turkey legs and the
Yeah.
and the mead. I think
So
that's
it's
how it
got
works.
that like 1930s sort of vibe, or 1920s almost, where and there's real gangsters, but then they also made some fictional people, and it's kind of a fake version of Chicago, I believe. So you're running you're running your empire of sin, basically. You're running
Basically.
your gang, and then you get into XCOM style firefights with other gang.
That's interesting.
Gang members.
I have fond memories of that Godfather game.
Really?
Extorting businesses. I feel like that bodes well for a video game, having different properties and everything. I feel like that meshes well.
You like extortion.
Yeah, in short. Remember
Little light
that,
extortion.
that game on the Wii?
Casual.
Choking people out with the Wiimote and nunchuck?
I don't remember
Iconic.
that.
Oh
Yeah.
man.
Wait, is this? Did you just admit to committing a crime? Were you actually?
You
On the
literally
Wii?
Are you the
murdered a
Wii-
person with the Wii remote.
You're the
Choking?
Wii remote strangler? Is that
Yeah, I have really fond memories of that era.
when I could do crime with my console?
Yeah. Ghost of Tsushima.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
After the Game Awards, you better believe it.
Yeah.
That game looks hot.
Good showing. Yeah, at the time when it was announced, it was kind of that and Sekiro were both like, which one's going to be better? And then Sekiro just got out and was great real early, and Ghost of Tsushima still has to prove itself.
I'm
Yeah.
curious how that plays. That's obviously the last thing we need to see, but cinematically, it looks amazing.
Yeah, and Sucker Punch, I mean, what was the last game they did? It was Second Son, right?
Second Son.
They haven't done anything since
Oh my
Infamous
gosh.
Second Son.
Has it
Like,
really
this
been that
whole
long?
generation, they did a launch title, and then been working on Ghost since then.
That is weird to think about.
I
didn't
really
realize that.
I would love to see them come out with another heavy hitter.
Yeah.
And reestablish themselves.
I think Infamous isn't maybe regarded as fondly as it was when it was coming out. Does that make sense? I think people look back on it like, oh, it's kind of like this lesser known.
Yeah.
Like,
Of
but
the
I think
Sony
when it was
exclusives.
coming out, I think people really liked at least that first game for sure. And I think Second Son was really good for a launch title.
Yeah.
So I really like, those guys. I don't want to see them knock it out of the park.
Yeah, Infamous, the original one, was one of very few games where I played through it as the good guy and immediately played through it again as the bad guy. Like, didn't
Cool.
switch to another game, just kept playing
kept
it.
rolling.
Yeah.
I think if you've
It
seen
was fun
any
at the time.
trailer on this game, you know why people are excited. Just because, like, visually, it just looks stunning.
For sure.
Definitely.
They've captured a particular moment in history with what looks like great skill. Yeah.
I do wonder if that's like going to be one of the new trends now is, I mean, there's always been samurai games, but like it seems like it's really like with all these games, I think it's like kind of the big trend right now. Or one
Yeah,
of them.
the World War II of its day.
Yeah.
Gods and Monsters.
Oh, one of
2020.
Ubisoft's little gems there.
Very Breath of the Wild feeling from what I've heard from people who played it.
Yeah, I saw a little bit of the City 3, and I am. You count me in the excited column. I don't think we've seen enough of it to know how it's going to come together, and because it is in part sort of inspired by Zelda-style games, there's so much about that is whether it's good or not is going to be based on literally just that. How have we designed each of these spaces, right? How
Yeah.
is this particular dungeon? How is this level? How is this shrine, right? If you think about a Zelda game, what makes it really great is that sensation of like there's all these individual places and, I remember that puzzle and I remember the way they set up this particular environment. And so I think a lot will be dependent on how well they manage to do that.
Yeah.
But there's promising signs. I mean, I think you take the idea of taking a little Zelda and a little bit of Assassin's Creed Odyssey and mashing them into a cookie and baking it up. That
I
sounds
do-
like a pretty good idea.
Can't
Pretty
go
good
wrong.
I
cookie,
do
right?
love cookies.
Yeah. Should we talk more about cookies, actually?
The cookie
Cookies
cast.
are actually announced for 2020.
Oh,
Yeah.
can't wait.
They could just make Breath of the Wild without the weapon degradation, right? And then all the weak-willed amongst us would be, now it's
would
Game of the Year.
Stop
Weak-willed.
complaining.
Yeah. Grounded. Obsidian's survival game where you're tiny.
Oh, you got to check this
Yeah.
out a bunch.
Yeah, we talked about it, a couple months ago on the podcast when we first saw it. We haven't really seen too much since, but it looked neat. I always liked the Honey I Shrunk the Kids movies, and this is taking that concept of you're shrinking down, you're a kid in your own backyard, and you're just trying to survive,
Yeah.
battling spiders and building things, crafting things, cutting down giant stalks of grass, and then building a hut out of it. Like, sounds neat.
Does your dad ever show up with the lawnmower
No,
and potentially murder you?
it's like a hurricane coming through.
Yeah.
Can you ride on an ant?
You've got to be able to tame creatures.
They would
Surely. It's a
not-
survival game.
They would not talk
We're
about.
not ready to talk about that. this time.
Yeah, if you could tame any of the animals.
Big missed opportunity.
But you do like hunt them for food. So
Ants?
there's there's aphids.
Ants?
you kill bugs to eat them.
Yeah. Well, in
What else
fact,
you gonna
I eat
eat?
bugs all the time, dude. What's
They
up?
showed-
I mean, you figure like one little slice, a speck of dropped pizza would fill you for days on that little body, right?
true,
You don't need to
yeah.
be killing a giant spider. Like,
But you're making presumptions about where this family eats their pizza.
yeah, where are they going to get the pizza? Dan?
go a couple doors down. Go to like a barbecue. Somebody's gonna
That's
drop
like
a piece
a
of a hot
4-day
dog.
hike,
Yeah.
dude, to get to the neighbor's
Not
yard.
if we're riding on an ant.
Couple
Okay.
doors down to get barbecue. You're making some assumptions about where these people live.
I
These
am.
people-
I'm assuming they need a lawn to make this work.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Right? Because otherwise the game concept doesn't
And
work.
as
You
we
can't do
all
it in the
know,
city.
all lawns are 2 doors down from a barbecue place.
I am making, piece
a
of,
cookout
little
barbecue.
piece of a dropped hot dog, a cookie. That's a little
Yeah.
piece of a cookie would be a feast for these guys.
The
Yeah.
little scraps you throw away in the trash. Yeah, that
And
could.
cookie is coming out.
I
Find a
mean,
trash bin.
getting to the trash can would be like
Oh.
big loot,
Oh yeah.
right?
Yeah, that's the end game. I'm sure.
End game is
Oh, yeah.
the trash can.
Yeah.
Until Dad takes it out to the curb, and then
Well, yeah, that's
you got to get there before Thursday morning. 'cause
Yeah,
then it's
and
gone.
leave before he takes it out to the curb. Or
Right.
else
If
We've discovered the progression.
this is good.
If you fell into a trash can as a little person, do you think you'd be able to climb out?
No, you'd be
No,
toast.
you would be
No.
dead.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think you'd be done.
I mean, if is it empty or full?
Well, I would think it's half full.
Half full, then no.
There's no way out.
You'd have
no
to
way
climb
out.
up all the stuff, and then
It would
somehow...
it would be effectively a bottomless pit, and most of the time there'd be a top on it to keep the raccoons out.
And you're going to get smushed.
And if the raccoons aren't being kept out because the top is open, the raccoon's going to eat you.
And the raccoon is like
Does raccoon eat ants?
raccoon
Well-
will eat anything.
I think the raccoon. You're not an ant though. You smell like a human, just a really small one.
Okay. And raccoons love human.
Raccoon will just eat you like just for on principle. Raccoons are terrifying creatures. You know, they look cute in all the images you see online, but if you've ever seen them in real life, they are snarling,
Yeah.
evil little beasts.
Well, you are the
Trash
expert
pandas.
there.
yeah.
Well, this was a great peek at our game club.
Wasn't it?
For Grounded. Halo Infinite.
Can we circle back to Grounded some more? No.
Yeah. Halo Infinite. What would that game have to be to get you
I have
back
a
into Halo? in a big
Giant
way?
question mark on this game.
That is
still.
it is
Yeah.
a huge question mark. I don't think it has to do anything to get me to play it though.
To play it, sure, but like if it's
agree.
for it to become your new favorite game, where would they have to be taking the Halo franchise?
Oh,
To
God.
Switch, maybe?
Yeah.
Switch, I'd check it out.
Yeah, I don't know.
Do you want the Destiny style kind of loot added to it?
That's got to be what it's going to be, right?
It
I
has
don't
to
want
be.
that, though.
I-
I don't think
yeah.
that's
I
the
don't
answer.
especially either.
I don't want, but I also want to know how that competes in the modern world when everything else is that, right?
There's always been the challenge for Halo that like Bungie did Halo and did it well for a very long time, and eventually we're like, you know what? We have reached a point that we can go if we start fresh. We can create a concept that will support a more modern feeling first-person shooter. We can take everything we're good at, and we can do something new with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
And they left, and 343 took over with Halo,
And they're still doing
that's-
Infinite,
And
right?
there's
Yeah,
you know,
correct.
That's them?
Like,
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, the trouble is, I think because they are the stewards of the brand,
Yes.
I think they feel a sort of a right desire to, I need to protect the brand as what it is.
Yes.
But that also sort of limits you from being able to, how are you going to expand and do something new
Yes.
with that brand? And I think that's like those two things are in tension. And so they want to like deliver fans a Halo experience, but sometimes that means it doesn't grow.
Well, and not to mention the fact that they kind of left things on a cliffhanger.
Yeah,
The last
for
time they had a sort of major installment of this thing. So there's a certain obligation you have to your fans, whether that was well liked or not. You kind of got to figure out a way to follow through on that, right? But you're probably in bad shape if you just like, okay, well, here's the next game. It's just like the last one, and you follow through on this sense that for a lot of fans, I count myself among them, felt like something was lost there and it didn't feel quite right, especially in how they approach storytelling and how they approach some of the characters.
Yeah.
More specifically Cortana.
Yeah.
Like things felt off there, and so like if we go too far down the road of like we got to finish this out, even though it's been years that we've been waiting for the next installment. I mean, that's the way you would kill your franchise.
Yep.
So it's a tough challenge.
Here's my devil's advocate quickly. And I'm trying to-
Oh.
Do you have to finish that story? There's a lot of people. I grew up Halo fan. I think there's a lot of people who feel like us who are just so. Like, I finished that game, I beat it, I don't remember how it ended.
Do it in the
it
book.
was so like
Put it in the book.
Or have like a one-off in, we talked about
Three-piece
this.
of
Yeah, yeah. I mean, like we talked about this months ago on the pod, where I think if they really want to shake things up, this is one of the last Chief stories we get.
Yeah.
I think he is. I love Chief and I love the stories they've told, but there's so many other interesting parts of that universe that I think that series could really benefit from something. And I know Gears isn't super popular in this office, but like I just feel like they got a better sense of freedom with that series than 343 got with Halo.
I think
Yeah.
you're right.
Yeah.
What Halo's been exceptional at is the creativity in the multiplayer. All of the player-built modes and Forge mode, obviously. Theater mode for making clips of them. My dream of what Halo Infinite is and why it's called Infinite is because they're getting behind player-created content in a big way. I would love
yeah.
to see that.
So we're talking Halo Minecraft here? What are we talking about?
Exactly.
Is that what we're delving into?
Like people making their own levels in Forge mode and just some way to gamify that, like progression to creation. I don't know. I feel like if they went somewhere down that route, it would be like what makes Halo special to me.
I like
to
that.
get excited
Yeah.
about it.
I think that could be certainly cool, but I also don't think you could release a Halo game and not have some curated
Absolutely.
you
for
know,
sure.
storytelling and progression of the broader fiction, just because that's what that franchise is.
You're right. Yeah.
So a little bit of both of those would be great. But yeah, it's a big. I think your statement's right, Dan. It's a big question mark.
Yeah, it
of
still
right
is.
now.
Like, I can't believe that we don't know more about that, having
Yeah.
just where we're at in things. I know it's going to be like, new launch release and all that stuff. But
Yeah.
but still, you'd think we'd know something other than what we've been given.
The creative director departed in August, we all remember.
Yes.
So who knows if it's something different than it was before, too. And that's why they're not ready to talk about it, because it's evolving as we speak.
And do you think Master Chief would be able to get out of a trash can if he had been shrunk down to the size of an
It's-
ant?
does he have an ant?
possible.
He's got the higher jump.
Does he have an ant?
Got that high jump, and he.
He could probably train an ant.
Yeah.
Master Chief could do that, yeah. He could get out of there no problem. He'd just blow a hole in the side of the thing. And
That's a
just-
good point.
He'd bring food back to everybody
Throw a
else.
sticky grenade at the side of the
And he
trash
loves
can.
barbecue. He'd smell that out.
John
right?
I'm
does
telling
love
okay,
barbecue.
even if we don't get the barbecue, you're at a house, you have a family, they're going to eat sometime.
Yeah.
You can get any scrap.
You can get food.
You can get food.
Master Chief can get food.
Do you have any comment, Leo? Do you agree? Disagree?
You guys summed it all up. I think that's perfect. I am interested that there's a game called Humanity and a game called Humankind that are both coming out
Oh
next year.
gosh.
so
Okay, which one's
humankind-
which? This is the game.
Humankind is the civilization like.
Yes.
Yes.
And,
I was going to guess humanity was.
it looks good. It looks really cool. You you develop your nation over the course of the thing. Just there are
What's the other
obvious
one? What's the other
similarities that sit there.
Humanity, Tack, do you know?
Humanity.
Humanity.
Do you become a manatee in this game?
Yeah.
I don't know
A
anything about
human
this game.
manatee.
You manatee. Humanity is, we've seen it very briefly.
Oh,
It
yeah,
was
yeah. I
just-
remember this one. This
thousands of people walking around.
Yeah, it's just like weird
Oh,
collisions
that
of
weird
people.
teaser. That was a
They
PS.
started with the PS experience
yes.
or whatever.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is it like kids?
God, I
don't
haven't
know.
thought about that
It
game in a
kind of.
minute.
It looks kind of like that.
If Kids was the Game Jam game, this is the final game they're building
Yes.
out of it.
Okay. Is this an iOS game? What is this?
No, this was
No,
a,
it's
this
a-
was a-
PC?
yeah, this was like a weird reveal of the PS experience. Like it was like it's just a bunch of people running around, right? Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe it's not for PC.
Okay.
I might be wrong on our list.
That's
but-
humanity.
Yeah. Humanity.
Okay.
yeah, not humanity. That's a different game. That's a different game that I'm designing.
Phew.
Not clear enough.
Yeah, the one,
manatee.
the one
The
that Dan
manatee,
is
yeah.
designing where you
one that
are a
I'm designing-
manatee.
You are
You're
a manatee named Q.
You're a manatee predator.
You're in the
right?
backyard. You've been shrunk down.
Where all manatees live.
Yeah.
And
I played
all
that
you
game.
eat is barbecue.
Check this out. Yeah, we do that. We do the ground experience, but you're a manatee. That is the hook we
I'm
need.
in.
Yeah.
$60.
man, I'm
Done.
down.
Right there.
You can fly and float around. And,
Whoa.
yeah, that's awesome. You're just like a mini manatee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's genius.
What about Hytale 2020? The kind of Minecraft-like,
Yeah, it's like
but
kinda
aiming to be
like-
an evolution of it.
I feel like this has some big potential. I think
Certainly.
when it was first out there, I think it got a lot of attention. It's maybe been a little dark for a while,
Yep.
but
It looks like Minecraft, but just with twice as much detail and everything.
It looks
essentially.
awesome.
Like a little smaller blocks, a little more detailed faces,
and these are guys who had connections to doing to the like Minecraft modding community, I believe.
Right.
So this sort of, I think has the potential to be the next generation of where that stuff's that whole kind of thing's going.
I hope it is. The thing is, you're trying to take on Minecraft, trying to be the biggest thing in the world. Hytale's not the name.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're
Good luck.
trying to take on Minecraft. It's just
Everyone's trying to take on
the
Minecraft.
the
in their
genre
own
is
way.
huge. Like the block genre, for lack of a better term, is a giant genre, and like there are many great games and there are many disappointments along that road. So
Yeah.
but what we've seen looks very promising so far.
Agreed.
Certainly.
What would you call it if you're trying to compete with Minecraft? What's your name for that product?
Craft builders.
That's so
Online.
good. I would just that name would just get so ignored on anything I ever read.
Craft
Just-
builders.
Stand by it. Kerbal Space Program 2 next year. Anybody fan of the first one?
I had fun with it. I reviewed it. It's a cool thing, and there's a fervent fan base
There
around
is
that
a
game that just
very fervent
loves
fan
launching
base.
those little dudes into space. I mean, I like it, but I'm not like, I wouldn't consider myself a core user.
Yeah. I love watching my friend play it. I will never get into it, but I adore watching him make those calculations and figure those things out. And then the excitement of the actual launch
Yep.
and seeing how it works.
Watch it tilt slowly to
That's
the left and then crash.
Those are the best ones. The ones where it's like, oh god, it's gonna go. And,
Yeah. League of Legends Wild Rift. Is that
Which-
worth talking about?
which one is that?
That's iOS.
That's a good question.
iOS
Well, they've
and
announced like a
Android?
billion. Oh, this is just League of Legends for console and iOS.
I
right?
believe so.
Okay, cool. Well, we've played League for a very long time. I can't wait to see how they translate it to other platforms. That'll be interesting. So it is its own new game, I think, completely. Like it's from the ground up. So like it's League, but with different controls for console, etc. If we're talking about they announced like 4 games, so give me a break.
Right,
Yeah, sure. I can't believe they haven't done that already, though. Also, League being the big thing that it is for
It's
a
very
decade.
MOBAs are difficult to convert to console and mobile experiences.
Paragon
They really
did it. We're all playing Paragon
And where
all the
is
time.
Paragon?
Yeah, right.
Everybody loves Paragon. Lego Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga.
I haven't played a Lego game in a long time, but I'm actually kind of excited for this one because it looks like they're doing some new things with their formula.
Can
And
you
it's
expand on
time.
that?
It's time, right?
Oh, it's totally time for them
Like,
to do some new
absolutely.
things.
Like I love those Lego games just as much as anybody, but it feels like it's time to evolve the formula in significant ways, not
Right.
just kind of like look, we've got more characters.
What kind of ways are they expanding it?
It's a little more open worldy hub world. So each planet you go to is its own open world area that you can explore, and there's more vehicles, and like the camera's been shifted down over your shoulder, so that
Oh,
changes
wow.
the feel of it.
Oh,
interesting.
And then the combat's a little, I mean, it's still a game that younger kids can enjoy. But I think
Make it for me.
no,
Everything needs to be made for Leo.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to say it's easy, but I don't think that's a bad thing. And
Sure.
it looks like a game that I will also enjoy.
I like
'Cause
the
I'm a
idea.
little kid.
Yeah, right on. I like the idea of the open worlds because that game has always had unlocking new characters and then backtracking through old levels and being able to do new things.
Yeah.
I like the idea of that being more of an open thing where you don't have to go through the whole level to access that stuff. You kind of just go back to these regions. That's how I'm picturing it in my mind, and in my mind, I'm excited for it.
I'm glad I painted a good picture.
Yeah.
in there.
Lego Star Wars Leo's Mind version, 10 out of 10.
Yep, easily 10 out of 10
That's
for
locked
Game
in,
Informer.
right?
Game of the
Yeah.
year, best RPG, best
Boom.
mobile, best music rhythm, best VR.
Wow.
Little Nightmares 2.
We have some Little Nightmares fans in the
Yeah,
office.
Jeff
They're
Quirk's
not here.
excited for it.
Yeah.
I never finished that first one. I got to a hard puzzle and I hated it.
Yeah.
But I liked what they were doing with it.
I like your honesty, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
That was
It's,
like,
it's
I
honest
was
response.
done.
Yeah, I was done. And there's too many other things to play.
Well,
But
it's nice to see a new IP indie
Yeah.
do well enough to get a sequel.
Yeah,
Totally.
the
It's-
style of that game was really cool.
Totally. Beautiful.
sort of a limbo / inside like game.
Yeah. Scary.
And now I gotta
Micros-
play it.
Yeah. Microsoft Flight Simulator.
Man, I don't know if I'm going to like that game or not, but
Yeah.
boy, does it look amazing.
Oh my goodness.
Right?
Oh my
Unbelievable.
goodness.
It looks
Yeah.
good. I'm not going to play a flight sim under normal circumstances,
know.
but it
I-
looks very nice.
It
Yeah.
just like the things that they're trying to do. I mean, the idea of just like, yeah, it's Earth, where you want to fly.
Yeah.
Like,
we
it's
have to have it
crazy.
be cloud-based because there's 10 trillion terabytes of Earth data
Yeah.
in this game.
And it's like actual places that are captured with map data that you're like seeing on your screen and you're flying around. It's pretty
Yeah.
cool.
That part is like there is the attraction of like just being able to go across the globe and see everything is super cool. Gosh, that's cool.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
at the same time, like I remember playing the original
Yeah.
Microsoft Flight Simulator. Man, that was a
Because it's a simulator.
Yeah,
you have
it
to
is.
learn how to pilot a plane
Yeah.
and take it off and everything. But I want to try it. I want to see it. If Ben Hansen were still with us, he would probably say like Flight Simulator and it's in the cloud, you know? Probably make a joke
he
about
definitely
that, but
certainly
Yeah.
would have made that joke.
me
Thank
personally,
you.
not my style.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, you make
But
good
you want to
jokes.
give a nod to the joke that could have happened
Yeah.
Exactly.
if he was here.
Yes.
Yeah.
God rest him.
He'd also be planning a game club, I'm sure.
Yeah.
For Microsoft Flight
For
Simulator.
every
Yeah,
single
I'm
game
sure.
we've talked about.
That's right.
Minecraft Dungeons. Is anybody excited for this? We have a few people who've played it at preview events and they were kind of not crazy
I
impressed.
like the concept, but we have our ARPG cup runneth over in
It really
2020, and I
does.
don't know that
So
Minecraft
many.
is the best vessel to take us to the next level.
And not unlike something we just spoke about, Lego Star Wars. It's probably fair to say we're not target audience anymore here on that one.
I was gonna say it would have an audience if it reviews well. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't think there's reason to expect that it wouldn't review okay. I mean, like the times we've seen it, everybody who has on our team who has seen it universally has been, yeah, that seems pretty good.
I don't know who's
They're doing
winning
it.
it, but if I had to make a bet on the GI score of that game,
Yeah.
it is like the definition of like an 8, right?
Yeah.
Well, Leo has the score,
Yeah,
right?
like
What do
someone
we
like
have it?
7.5 to 8 kind of thing.
We're going to give it a 10.
Yeah, you know what?
Oh,
You know,
really?
That's
my
crazy.
God.
Wow.
Actually, yeah. I'm with
That's
you.
higher than
It's future.
Minecraft.
It's right in that 7.75 to 8 range. God, I hope I don't end up reviewing it now.
Joe Jube is listening.
We'll see.
He probably is.
With,
Yeah.
mind you, we will give it whatever it needs to get.
Right.
And I would love for a game like that to surprise me. But
Yeah.
I mean, that's based on what we know right now. I wasn't obviously saying
Right.
this is what it's going to get
Yeah.
without playing it.
yeah.
No More Heroes 3.
Yeah.
Been hearing
Let's do
about it
it.
for a long time. That new
Really?
trailer.
I am actually, when I had my Switch, that was one of the few games, I'm not a huge Nintendo guy. But that game was so like off the wall and so unlike anything else that I'd ever. I was just like, are they really doing that? Like,
Yeah.
what the hell is this game? Well, this is cool. Let's get wild. Let's get crazy. If you're gonna go nuts, like go all the way, right? Like I love that. And that game does go all. It's just craziness. It's just complete insanity. And
I love
it.
that game at the time. Yeah.
I can dig it.
Certainly Suda's most fun game to play.
Yeah.
That series. And that new trailer at the Game Awards.
Oh, I love that.
That was a
trailer.
great surprise.
That was really well done. People
Yeah.
should watch that trailer and imagine not knowing that it's No More Heroes 3 because it's a really strong trailer. Oddworld Soulstorm we mentioned earlier.
Yeah, we did. I think the idea of getting to see where they had always wanted to take the Abe story,
Yep.
that sounds cool.
Yep.
Good old Abe.
I'm still in.
Yes. Outriders.
Oh, yeah.
People Can Fly.
Yeah.
Yep.
That shooter from them.
Strong.
People can fly, right?
Yeah, pretty
Yep.
People
strong.
can
Well,
fly.
I don't think we
can.
actually can. I'm gonna go try.
Was
Strong development talent, suffice to say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And up till this point, I don't know that we've seen a lot in the way of like exactly what it is.
Yeah.
Have we seen any gameplay? Just that cinematic trailer, right?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I think there's many questions to be answered, but I'm eager to see that studio bring us something new.
Yeah,
And
the
what is-
concept seems interesting.
Yeah. What has People Can Fly done
Bulletstorm.
for people?
That's the big
yeah.
thing to know.
Is that the last thing they did?
Can't be.
I don't know.
What
But
if
that's the
it- what
thing
if
that
it
we know
was?
them
They
for.
did Gears of War Judgment as well.
Equally good games. Bulletstorm I love. I think that game plays amazingly, and I went back to it not too long ago. It holds up well, and it's available, in all sorts of remastered versions, looking great on PC.
I think it's underrated for the shooting alone.
Yeah, I agree. And honestly, it made me laugh too. Maybe it wouldn't make me laugh nowadays when I played it. Surprisingly well written. What we got next here? Who's excited for Phantasy Star Online 2 coming to Xbox PC
I
in
am
the West?
extremely excited about this one.
Yeah.
Big fan of the original PSO. This one, was it only in Japan release? I think it
Initially?
was. Yes.
Yeah. And there's
And-
been kind of third-party ways to do it, like
Yeah,
mods
yeah.
that let you
We
translate it.
don't
and play
talk
here.
about that kind of stuff here, but
Yeah. Yeah, but no.
This is official,
yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And that's super cool.
and you're gonna play the hell out of that, right?
Probably.
Yeah.
If I get a group. It's a great
sure.
PSO and PSO. These are super fun games. Like they had that pseudo MMORPG kind of element going on long before the Destinies of the world started
sure.
taking over, and it was ahead of its time, and it's really good stuff. It's fun.
It was. Psychonauts 2. How are you feeling about that? I'm excited.
Yeah, me too.
Kind of excited.
I love that art style with modern graphics. That's
I-
gorgeous.
Loved the first one back when it came out, and like, I feel like my enthusiasm has cooled over the years. I don't know why necessarily, because I really wanted a sequel for a long time, and
Yeah.
now I'm seeing the sequel, and I'm like, it looks like that old game in some
It
ways.
feels like a candle of enthusiasm that we kept burning for so long.
Right.
Yeah.
That the wax has gone to
Sure.
the bottom now.
Yeah,
Right.
I trust that those guys to make a world that's fun to be in and
Yes.
humorous
Yeah.
and great writing. I think their gameplay is always kind of like middle of the road.
yeah.
And I feel like this is going to be one of those like basic platformers. But
I-
if it's not offensive, I'll probably like it.
I think it's also very dependent on like the first one. The individual levels were so like revelatory, right?
Yeah,
You go into
so
a new
many
level and you're like,
memorable-
oh, that's
Yeah.
so cool. The way
Yeah.
they're presenting this is the sort of like concept.
Yeah.
So I would hope that with years of iteration and development and thinking about it and coming up with what they could do, the idea of like, okay, we're going to go into this person's mind now and see how things are presented, that there'll be some just creative, fun things there that will make it worth playing just by that component by itself.
Yeah.
Talking about worlds that are fun to be in, I also just loved in my early teens, I loved Harry Potter for Hogwarts, right? Like that's a place I wanted to be.
Yeah.
And Psychonauts also had that camp of people with psychic abilities.
yeah.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
just running around that open world with that twanging guitar and like all of those interesting characters, it was just a really satisfying, great atmosphere to be in. And I hope
Yeah.
they achieve that. And now that you're like a super spy, I can imagine they can think of a fun
There's
world
fun
to be
stuff
in.
to do, yeah.
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 That's exciting. Rainbow Six Quarantine. Anybody play Rainbow Six?
Anybody at this table into that?
I don't
not
think
a
so. I
Rainbow
don't think
Six
anyone's
fan.
played it here.
Yeah. I'm a big Siege guy. I hope Quarantine lets you carry over your aim settings and everything. I want it to be such a companion piece. I wonder if it's going to end
I mean,
up
you're
being
a
like such a
huge
standalone
Siege
thing.
guy. You play that game a lot.
Yeah, a few nights a week.
Yeah.
I adore that game. And but also they've done the PvE events with Outbreak and you have Terrorist Hunt. Neither of those really clicked with me. They're
Okay.
fun diversions, but I'm not automatically sold on a PvE Rainbow Six.
And we
so I'm
haven't seen
curious.
anything of
Nope,
this. Yeah.
just the reveal trailer and then it got delayed. We love that.
We do love that. That's a combo. It's a classic combo right there.
That sounded like more business decision than like comment on the game, though. I
Oh
think.
yeah, and that was it. Where
we're-
they delayed a bunch of games at the same time.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Skatebird.
I'm into this.
I'm into it.
I really liked Tony Hawk back in the day, and this is Tony Hawk. This is exactly
This is him.
This is it. This
back.
is his
He's-
real form.
He's the Birdman.
Yeah. There's something delightfully weird about this game where you're a bird, you're a bunch of birds on skateboards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Doing
that
skates.
component of it I like for
Yeah.
sure. And you're tiny, so you're
Yeah.
skating around a living room or whatever.
Like
which seems
as tiny as the guys in the backyard.
Yeah.
right.
You're
You're
basically
big enough to kill all
Can
of
I
them.
be
though.
a manatee on the skateboard? a tiny manatee.
It's all
Let's
gonna
get
get
into
tied
it.
together, man.
Yeah, Skatebird looks super cute.
It
though.
just looks fun. It's a cute little game.
It does look cute.
Skull and Bones. Anybody excited for that on the
Yeah,
planet?
I
Earth?
have been
Oh.
super excited for that.
For
and
like 6 years
But
now.
where is it? I am
Yeah.
deeply
I don't
concerned.
have any idea what's going on with
I'm
that
deeply
game.
concerned that game may no longer exist.
I mean, Ubisoft pushed everything out,
Yeah.
pretty much everything out, and
Yeah.
and it's hard to know how much of that is tied up with next gen things, how much of it is stuff that Skull and Bones could completely not exist right now anymore, and we wouldn't
That's
know
true.
about it.
That's true.
I kind of hope that it's still moving forward, and maybe they've gone back to it and been like, okay, how do we make this actually more robust and worth playing, and that we're dark on it right now, but when we re-announce, there's going to be, we've got this whole big single-player story thing to it now, in addition to the pirate ship battles, the multiplayer stuff, which, by the way, was cool. It was very cool. I did play it at one point.
We have a new
way back
gameplay
when.
today of it.
Yeah.
Up as well.
Wow.
But
And its cancellation would make that new gameplay today more interesting historically.
yeah,
So,
sure.
That's cool.
Yeah.
yeah.
It's a total mystery.
like we haven't heard anything about that for so long. It's been silence and I don't know. It's weird. It's
Yeah,
very
that
weird.
one is a
that one's
weird
been a long
one.
time.
Yeah, big
Do you,
if.
do you think we get an Assassin's Creed this year?
They've announced one, right, for PS5?
They
Officially?
did? I missed
Yeah,
that.
yeah. I just Googled it to make sure because I saw it on a list and I wanted to make sure it
Okay.
wasn't like a prediction.
So it might be a launch title is what you're thinking.
Yeah.
'Cause
It
we-
was a leak that gave it away. I
Because the
believe.
rumors were Norse.
Yeah,
right?
Ragnarok.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's go.
I mean, we didn't
You're
get
ready,
one.
huh?
Oh yeah.
We
Yeah.
didn't get one last year, but I'd totally be up for a Norse
Yeah.
Assassin's Creed.
Yeah.
I mean, they did a great job of supporting Odyssey. There was a lot of really good post-launch content, effectively making at least one other additional game in there if you took the time to engage with that stuff. In particular, the Atlantis expansion stuff. I think a lot of us here in the office really got into that.
Yeah.
But it does feel like now it's time to move on. Let's get something else, a brand new setting, and that
I'm
kind of
glad
thing.
they're off that yearly cycle because
Me
I was
too.
kind of getting
absolutely.
I was getting exhausted from the franchise, but now that I've had a year off, I'm kind of hungry for it again.
Yeah.
It's kind of interesting. I'm ready for another one.
The Odyssey gameplay of its loot and powers and everything, do you think that's the mold going forward? Do you think they're going to mix it up again? Because they seem to not be afraid to.
I don't think that they will go back to ground zero again. I think that Odyssey was well enough received. Origins was a mixed bag.
Yeah.
It had some good things, but had some other things that didn't really work. Odyssey, I think, even though I really love that game, I think there were still some things about the old formula of Assassin's Creed that I found myself missing at times. But there was so much that was just fun about running around this beautiful world of ancient Greece that it was fine.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And I was willing to go along with them on that journey of okay, this is where you want to move your franchise. That's fine, even if it doesn't feel like the Assassin's Creed I originally fell in love with.
Sure.
I do love that in these new ones, the mysticism of those games has moved from the outside world to the inn, where you can like fight deities and like that kind
Yeah.
of stuff. And I think Norse mythology would be perfect for that.
That's cool.
I mean, it's gonna draw comparisons to another game that handled Norse mythology recently, but
That's recently getting a sequel.
Is that a setting that people use in games? I haven't seen it before.
missed that, but I think in that team's hands, I think it could be really cool.
Yeah. I just hope they carry over the different builds. Like, I love how you can't have every power in Odyssey.
Sure.
You kind of, well, maybe you can eventually. They let you get, like...
you
unlimited-
have the really high level.
Yeah, but you can't even map them all to all the buttons you have. So you have to be kind of creative, and I enjoy that. The Good Life is that sweary game. Has that really not come out yet still?
This has to be a typo. Hold on.
Nope, delayed to spring 2020.
So it's coming.
Well, I hope it's good.
Yeah, that's the best comment that I think we can get on that one.
Yeah.
That goes for all these. System Shock Remastered.
If that comes out.
That has been what? How many times has that been? Is it just one delay? Because it feels like it's been a lot longer.
It got demoed last year, right? It was part of
I know it's been
Keighley's,
demoed.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did NGT on that, or maybe it was before NGT even, but yeah.
That's a game that's so beloved in certain circles. It has almost a mythos behind it, and it's because it's a game I haven't played, but it is kind of the spawn point for a lot of other games like Bioshock, obviously,
Yeah.
but other stuff like Deus Ex and some other things that I would love to go back and experience, but you almost can't rewind time at this point. And even a remake, I don't think I'm going to get the same level of like awe from that other people who played it for the first time back in the day did. But I would love to. That said, I would still
Yeah,
love
alright.
to see it come out, and I would love to experience it.
Yeah, it's similar to me for Final Fantasy because I never played the two, but like those are two games I always heard about growing up. So I would like to do my homework, and if they're in a place that doesn't feel archaic, then I'm all for it.
I'd like to issue a correction. We absolutely didn't do an NGT on that. I don't know what I was thinking of.
Oh my god!
You were thinking of this
So-
magical NGT we did. It was just me and
It
you,
was a
Leo,
secret.
and we just did it.
Secret,
All right, it was in our
quiet
minds.
Yeah. Someday the world will be
Mind
ready.
Palace
Yeah.
NGT.
The world wasn't ready for it.
Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2. Getting towards the end of the alphabet here.
Yeah, I mean, I think that game looks cool.
Yeah.
There is I think it's fair to call the original kind of a cult classic in certain circles for people. I know some people who rank the original as one of their favorites, actually.
15 years old now.
Yeah. So it's a cool universe that has had many, many, many years of development in the tabletop sphere, and feels like it's a good time to bring it back to the fore.
Vampires are hot right now.
They're pretty hot.
So
I think they're cooling off a little bit. We're going more Norse, less vampire, but
Yeah.
it'll change.
We got to get a Norse vampire.
Oh.
I think
Okay.
Norse vampires with manatees shrunk.
In the backyard.
And we got it in the backyard.
I think we've developed the 2023 gaming lineup
Yeah.
today.
Yeah. Warcraft 3 Reforged.
oh, that's the one I want.
January, I believe, has been announced. Yeah, I mean,
Oh, yeah?
It's going to be coming out in January?
yeah, I think it just got announced. Like
This month, you're saying?
It got announced a while ago.
Just
Yep,
announced a few weeks back.
January 28th. Yep.
I'm.
Because it's the new year. Happy New Year.
Happy
Yeah.
New Year by Trump.
That's
What a
right.
great way to start the year. I'm happy now.
Yeah. It's great.
I mean, apparently they've made a lot of
I had
changes.
a
Like
great holiday.
But you're excited.
I'm excited, but at the same time, I think they went back on a lot of their decisions that we
Oh.
saw during the cover trip, like changing a lot of the story elements to fit with the current
Wow, basically.
continuity.
Yeah.
Huh.
I don't know. I that's what I've heard. I
They're
don't have a source on it.
Reversing the idea of upgrading the graphics. Now
There's-
it's just going to look like the original game.
They're keeping that part.
You're gonna degrade it.
They're keeping that part.
And it's a shooter now.
You know what? Hey, I would like to see a Warcraft shooter. It might be horrible, but I'd like to see it.
Be
Sure.
interesting to see it.
He didn't say play it. He said see it.
Right.
Yeah.
Watch from afar.
Yeah.
Speaking of watching from afar,
Ah.
Watch Dogs Legion.
Oh,
The whole reason I came up with this facade of an
I
episode
know.
to talk more about Watch Dogs
Here,
Legion.
is this like your jam? Are you really excited?
This is so my
that
jam.
was originally coming out in what, February?
March.
Well, it's
March?
Yeah.
It's another
Yep.
one of those like Ubisoft. Everything's out.
Yeah,
Everything's out.
Yep, the big push.
Yeah.
But
now we
it-
don't have a date for it.
Looked like it was pretty far along when we saw it last.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so I'm with you. I'm kind of excited for this one. I'm not a huge Watch Dogs guy, but after we saw that at E3, I went home and I started up Watch Dogs 2 again because I was so excited to play.
That
3.
game's still really fun.
Yeah, and 2's still fun, but
Yeah.
I would I'm looking forward to 3.
A lot of
can play
trepidation,
as
obviously.
anyone.
Yes, playing as anyone.
I don't even like Watch Dogs, but I'm intrigued by that aspect for
Yeah.
sure.
That system is like, how could they possibly get that right? If anybody can, it's Ubisoft with their 55 studios and 10 million people working on each game.
I mean, there's also the potential that concept right there by itself is one of those like crash and burn elements.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Like if it doesn't work, that game is falling apart.
Like this thing, it
Which
seems awesome and super dangerous.
Yes.
Like right, like
I completely agree.
I think we'll be grateful they had the extra time
Yeah.
to polish that stuff up. But there's more gameplay than was shown on the main stage out there. Like, people can go back to that E3 and find a side Ubisoft press conference. They showed like 30 minutes of gameplay where you can see people's schedules. You mark people, you go into the menu and see they're at this place at this time and they work until this point, and then they go shopping with their dad or whatever. That's
Weirdly
God.
specific.
I pulled that because that's something Clint Hawking talked about, who's did Far Cry 2, a game I love, and now this. And he talked about a story that was happening in his playthrough, because you're always playing the game you're working on, obviously. And he said that he saved this guy who was being imprisoned and was about to be executed, and then 10 hours later saw him, that guy, out shopping with his dad at the mall, and was like, oh, I made that happen.
That's wild.
It's
Yeah.
crazy.
That's cool.
That is exactly my thing. I want those emergent story machines. I'm so excited for it.
Cool.
And yeah, I wish we knew a date. I was excited for March. I'll be okay. Finally, Way to the Woods. You guys remember that? Cute little deer.
oh the deer
game.
game.
Yeah.
It's the deer game.
Yeah. I listened to the song in that trailer a lot.
Yeah.
It's on SoundCloud. That's a great song.
Yeah.
But I think that game looks cute.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's exactly what it looked like. A
Yeah.
cute game.
Yeah, another game that's developed by one person, with one person helping, it seems
Cool.
like. But yeah, that's all the stuff I want to talk about.
We did it.
Yeah. I mean, there's some other stuff. There's some other announced things we're not going over.
Yeah,
But I mean,
not comprehensive.
it's a lot of important stuff anyway.
What are you guys most excited for? 2020,
It's hard not to be excited for Cyberpunk, for sure.
certainly.
Cyberpunk is the easy answer, but I
Plebe answer.
That's why I went
don't
straight
think it's
to
a
it.
plebe- I don't think it's a plebe answer. I don't think everyone on this table is going to play.
Yeah, for sure.
And probably, that game.
Yeah,
That
it's
and
incredible,
Last
but-
of Us feel like if those aren't two of the the games that when we're talking about like the end of the generation, as we will be relatively soon. There's a strong likelihood those two games are going to be part of that conversation based on what we know so far. Maybe they'll one or the other or both will not turn out as well as we hope, but they're really good studios.
You can make educated guesses.
yes, that those are going to be very strong games.
I will definitely be pouting in the corner of our top 50 debate about Watch Dogs Legion.
Yeah.
not being in the running for Game of the Year.
I mean, obviously, on the podcast I talk about Destiny a lot. I think it's an important year for Destiny to take a big swing and do something cool. We would expect, if they follow anything like what they've done before, that sometime in the fall there'd be another big Destiny
Mainline entry
thing. Potentially.
on their schedule, yeah.
So-
and that's because that was kind of a contract. Was these many games over 10 years, right?
But
now
they
they're
don't
not
have
with
that
Activision.
anymore. So how they
Stuff.
handle
Yeah.
things moving forward remains to be seen. But they certainly haven't broken the trend yet, even after having departed with Activision. They
Right.
had Shadowkeep this previous year. So that would be a big thing because with Shadowkeep they moved over to Steam. They had their free-to-play client. They added in cross-save. A lot of important things to kind of like lay the groundwork for the franchise to do well. And in their storytelling, they also planted some seeds of like, okay, we're finally going to move forward on the main storyline in some pretty important ways. So it feels to me like 2020 needs to be the time for them to do something
I would love to see
big.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll see.
I,
So that
uh,
I would say that's mine.
Okay. I want to take it in a little because like I'm going to take it in a different direction because I'm excited for Cyberpunk. I'm excited for Last of Us and all that.
Of course.
I am very excited to see what Nintendo's got up their sleeves because we don't know a ton past Animal Crossing. We
Yeah,
know,
that's like the only one I read.
We know Breath of the Wild 2 or whatever that game is around, but like there's a lot of heavy hitters that haven't reared their head yet, and I'm curious on what this year and then like obviously the years prior or after that. But
It'd be early for Metroid Prime 4, but that's still
Too early.
Way
Of
early.
spirit.
too early. But I do think like where there's smoke, there's fire, right? Like there had to have been a Metroid Prime trilogy at some point, or at least like discussions of it. Like I feel like that would just
On
work.
Switch?
Yeah, on Switch. Like I feel like that just would work perfectly on that system.
I mean, I think you bring up
only.
an interesting topic just in general, which is that I'm curious if Nintendo is just going to step back from the fray at the end of 2020, or if they're going to try to mix it up with the other big boys at the table.
Because
Yeah.
there's a lot of
like-
IP that's sitting on the table. We haven't seen a new Donkey Kong game, Star Fox.
Well, and if we're not getting like their next iteration of a console, which we don't necessarily have any reason to believe that is coming by that time, you got everybody else. The conversation's gonna be about Sony's new console, Microsoft's new
Yeah.
console, and so Nintendo needs to either have something there to be like, hey, we're still here.
Yeah.
And by the way, you can play the best game of the year over with us on the Switch.
Yeah.
Or they need to kind of just like be like, hey, you know what? Those guys are. Congrats to those guys on their new consoles. We're just kind of laying low for a little while.
Yeah.
And come back swinging later. And I don't, I think it's more likely that they're going to try to have something big to stay in the conversation.
Yeah.
For sure, later in the year, yeah. But Animal Crossing alone, I think, is going to be a
Yeah.
massive hit
That'll
for
be a
them.
big hit.
Definitely. Yeah. But there's just so much of the year that, like I said, we don't know about.
Yeah, and
Yep.
I'm excited to find out. And you
Yeah.
know what? They could release no other games.
Hey, should we
What
find
we
out?
talked about, and that is plenty. What an
Should we
amazing year!
slowly march into the future so we can learn all these things?
Yeah, let's go
do
maybe a second at a time
Yeah.
through the rest of the year.
Don't rush.
gonna
Let's
do
set
that.
the timer
Okay.
to go 1 day equals 1 day,
Okay,
and then we'll see how it goes.
okay, that's a good plan. That's a
Yeah.
good plan, guys.
What if we did this podcast every week? And
That's ridiculous.
All
and
right,
then
calm
talked
down.
about the games as
No.
they came out.
No chance we'll be doing that. Why don't we start next week, Miller?
I think so.
Andy Mack will be back this next Thursday.
That's a warning.
That is a warning. Steer clear. Thanks for watching or listening to this episode of the Game Informer Show. Let's have a great 2020, everybody. Let's get out there and
Let's be good to each other.
Let's do that.
Happy New Year.
And let
Happy New Year.
Happy
Elden
New
Ring.
Year. Happy New Year and Elden Ring. Thanks, everybody.
Bye-bye.